to apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Friendly reminder to change your filter. Head on over to our website at familyhvac.net for some of the best pricing on filters around.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hammer and Nigel here. Bill Demery would like to give you a 20% upfront bonus when you invest your money. Not only do you get a 20% bonus, you're also going to get an annual return that's averaged nearly 10% for the past decade. Discover how you could get an upfront 20% bonus plus an additional return that's averaged nearly 10% for the past 10 years.
Bill Demery explains things in a way that's easy to understand. Because let's be honest, the world of retirement and finance, it can be pretty complicated. But not when you work with the best. Bill Demery, your retirement guy. Contact him right now, 317-805-4716. Ask about the upfront 20% bonus on your money. Upfront, 317-805-4716, or visit yourretirementguy.com. That's yourretirementguy.com.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Take care of your well with a 6-point inspection from C&J Well Company and save 20%, their lowest price of the year. Great systems, great people. 317-852-WELL.
Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Dugan Air Heating and Cooling Mitsubishi Electric Studios, where a fatal crash happened early this morning in Indianapolis and who was involved, why local and state authorities are on another side of Indy and who they are looking for. And did the Pacers extend their winning streak last night? Those stories and more next after Fox News. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 9 o'clock.
A transgender rights case at the Supreme Court. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
It would preserve fairness in our sports, because when you don't do that, women's sports loses its integrity.
Madison Kenyon is a school athlete in Idaho who competed against a trans player and supports the challenge her state and West Virginia are taking to the Supreme Court this morning after lower courts struck down state laws banning trans athletes in girls and women's sports.
Both arguments here from both sides are saying that this is not fair for female athletes. It's not fair to have to compete alongside individuals who have a biological advantage. And for the plaintiffs here, they're going to be arguing that there's no fairness for them in wanting to compete in a sport that they clearly want to compete in.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff outside the Supreme Court. Human rights groups now say there are nearly 650 people dead in Iran's crackdown on anti-regime demonstrations.
Iran's trading partners will face a 25% tariff on goods imported to the U.S., President Trump says, as he threatens military strikes over Iran's response to protests across the country.
As Fox's Jared Halpern of the White House. Minnesota's taking the Trump administration to court, trying to stop immigration enforcement, calling an influx of ICE agents an invasion. As the anti-ICE protests rage, with people clashing with federal agents who used tear gas in the simmering anger over last week's deadly shooting in Minneapolis. There's also anger and a protest planned today in New York City, where Fox's Tanya J. Powers reports a city council staffer was taken into ICE custody.
In a social media statement, Mayor Zoran Mamdani called it, quote, an assault on our democracy and called for the staffer's immediate release. The Department of Homeland Security defended the arrest, saying the employee is in the U.S. illegally and has an alleged criminal history.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. We just got an inflation update showing a slight increase in the consumer price index last month, 0.3%, but no change in the annual rate.
Year over year, we came in line at 2.7%. That was the expectation. That was the number we got for November.
Fox Business Network, Cheryl Casoni. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Diving in to save them. You've got a partly cloudy sky, a little bit of sun this morning. It's 36 here in downtown Indianapolis. Today's high might reach 50. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 9:02. A man is dead after the car he was driving ended up in a retention pond on Indy's northeast side early this morning.
Clear how we got 3 in the water. We've got 3 victims out of the water at this time. CPR in progress. I'm unclear if we have a vehicle in the water or not. trying to obtain more information.
The man's 2 children survived after 4 IMPD officers jumped into the freezing water while Lawrence Police and the Indianapolis Fire Department used rope bags to help pull them out. The crash happened just after midnight off Pendleton Way near I-465 in Pendleton Pike. By the time officers arrived, the car was already underwater. The 2 kids are an 8-year-old boy and 9-year-old girl. There are reports of a large police presence on Indy's near northeast side this morning, too, with state and local agencies looking for members of Tren de Aragua. IMPD says this is happening in the 3300 block of North Tacoma Avenue and the Washington Park area near North Keystone Avenue and East 30th Street. Police say they're searching for gang members wanted for drug trafficking and murder. The Marion County Sheriff's Office says the adult detention center is over capacity because they're holding around 175 people, including ICE detainees who should be in state prisons. Sheriff Kerry Forstall said to Wish TV that their budget is taking a hit, and the Indiana Department of Correction is also late on their payments to their office, with the last one coming in July.
We've worked with the Indiana Sheriff's Association to try to get the state to remove them, at the very least pay us. They haven't paid for several months their bill. In particular, the 175 that held here cost about $5 million to hold them all year long.
This has led the jail to implement a new policy stating they will no longer hold ICE detainees at the ADC for more than 48 hours. The statewide average for gas today at $2.74. That's according to AAA. The national average is 8 cents more at $2.82 a gallon. And it's now 3 wins in a row for the Indiana Pacers. They defeated the Boston Celtics last night 98-96. Thanks to a big shot in the final seconds put in by Pascal Siakam. Head coach Rick Carlisle.
You know, it's so fitting that Pascal has the ball on our last possession, hits what ends up being the game-winning shot, and he just played one of his better games.
Siakam finished with 21 points. The Pacers will face the Raptors tomorrow night inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Matt Bear has another look at traffic.
Yeah, Jared, looking at the west side crash northbound to 465 at Rockville Road. On the east side, crash on the entrance ramp from Washington Street to northbound to 465. The ramp is open. South side northbound 65 slows before Raymond into the south split. Traffic sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Hey, what's going on? It's Hammer from the Hammer and Nigel show. And I'm not going to lie to you. I needed help. I got a bald spot in the back of my head, and it's embarrassing. I see it when I'm on television. I see it when I'm on the YouTube channel. So I decided to reach out for help. And my friends at We Grow Hair Indy decided to help me out here. These guys are the absolute best. I was a little leery about it. I could not have a procedure that, 1, hurt, or 2, left me looking like I'd been scalped. But after I talked with Darren and the entire team at We Grow Hair Indy, they told me their state-of-the-art technology, the progress made in hair growth, it's going to be okay. If I can do this, you guys can do this. Contact the team at We Grow Hair Indy, 317-522-2995. That's 522-2995. Get that free evaluation. It's free. You can also go online to WeGrowHairIndy.com. Contact them today and do this with me. WeGrowHairIndy.com.
Now the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Partly to mostly cloudy, seasonably mild and breezy. Today's high 50. Cloudy skies, scattered light rain showers overnight, steady temperatures into the 40s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey, 93 WIBC.
And I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. It's 9:06. Time for Kendall and Casey.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Oh, wait, there it is. There are too many freaking microphones in this place. Holy smokes. Oh, my gosh. I had this big old intro ready to go, and, well, you're let me start over, shall we? Because I had a great intro ready to go.
Reset.
Kev, can you replay the intro? Or is that something you can do? Are you allowed to do that?
Like,
no, don't even worry about it. There's too many things that are broken here.
Can't do
Here,
that.
I'll just do it on my own. Ready? Here we go. Coming down. 3, 2, 1.
Well, Timothy Boosfield might be missing.
Yeah, isn't that incredible?
But Casey's been found.
I have. Hey, Happy New Year, by the way.
Yes, you're back. We'll get into where you went a little bit later. But look, and this is interesting. I basically killed you off yesterday.
Did you?
And now you're back.
Oh, I could have taken another day off, or I should have taken another day off, is what you're saying.
It's sort of what happened to Larry Hagman on Dallas. Remember, they didn't know if he was coming back, and so they just shot him. And then they're like, will he make it? Won't he make it? We don't know. And yesterday I told everybody you weren't coming back.
Did you really? You said that?
As far as you know.
Because I did get a couple messages on social media.
Yeah.
People, and I was like, oh,
Did it say, why did you have to die?
He said something. Did you? So you were exaggerating.
No,
That's so unlike you, Rob Kendall.
I just told people you'd abandoned the audience and you didn't care anymore.
It's not true. Just fighting for my life is what happened. Kind of like when we left back in December with the last time you and I were together.
Yeah. All right. So we'll get into what happened to you a little bit later. But have you seen this? The sort of like this is a very bizarre story that Timothy Boosfield. Now he is, he's been in a whole bunch of movies and TV shows over the years. Field of Dreams. People, if you've watched Field of Dreams, he's the brother-in-law.
He's the one who pushed Karen off the bleachers.
That's right. Yes.
She started choking.
The brother-in-law that works for the bank. He was in the movie Little Big League, West Wing.
Yes.
30-something. I mean, he's been in tons and tons of TV shows over the years. He is in his late 60s now.
68.
Yeah, and he has been accused. There's a warrant for his apprehension that went out related to allegations around sexual abuse of young kids. And there was a TV show that he was a part of called The Cleaning Lady that was on a couple of years ago. And now it's come out multiple boys on the program, according to, I think, Mediaite has the report, and amongst others, that he was alleged to have inappropriately touched these young boys. And now we are 3 days on. By the way, he's married to someone famous, isn't
Melissa Gilbert.
Melissa Gilbert. Okay, yes. Melissa Gilbert. He's now missing. Like there's a warrant out for his apprehension. He's been missing for 3 days.
Yep.
Now apparently these allegations go back a couple of years.
Well, the investigation began in November of 24.
Right, and nothing happened of it, and then new information was provided back to the authorities on this, and that resulted in this warrant for his apprehension. And he has just basically, as of a couple hours ago, I haven't seen any updates to the contrary, he is gone on the lam and is totally missing.
So he's currently wanted in New Mexico, and he faces 2 counts of criminal sexual conduct of a minor, also 1 count of child abuse. Not only has he gone missing, but his wife, Melissa Gilbert, you'll know her as Half Pint from Little House on the Prairie, she has deleted her Instagram account. So she's not talking either.
So this is a very wild story, and we'll keep you up to date. I mean, the U.S. Marshals are involved, brought in on this, and so a fairly well-known actor. I mean, again, is it like Tom Cruise? No, but I mean, the guy's been in a whole bunch of super famous both television and big screen events, and he is missing from society.
Still not located. 3 days on the lam.
All right, it's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's back, by the way.
I know, you're so excited. How much did you miss me on a scale of 1 to 10? You better turn it all the way up to 11.
Like, I mean, do you want the honest answer, or do you want me to make
you
feel
were
good
fine
about
all by yourself, weren't you? You were like, finally.
Well, look, here's the thing.
I've rid myself of yet another blonde female.
I just hated it had to be that you were under the weather. I wish you'd been on some sort of vacation.
Me too. Trust me, me too.
I was very concerned about why you were not here.
I would have rather have been working. That's the sort of situation we were in.
Can I answer it like this? I wasn't concerned that you were not here. I was concerned why you were not here. Is that because you know me? If you ask me a question, I will give you an honest answer.
That's true.
People know by now. Do not ask me a question unless you want an honest answer. So, like, am I going to sit here and be like, oh my gosh, I missed you so much on air. My life was over. I couldn't move forward. No, but as my very good friend.
You were so sweet, by the way. We kept in contact the entire time that I was gone. And I know you don't like this rumor to get around, but you were very thoughtful.
Oh, thank you. Well, my favorite part was I kept trying to do things for you, and your husband wanted no part of it. He was like, no. No, absolutely not. No,
he was
no.
trying to protect me because I was unshowered and braless for many days. Not a good look.
That's how he met you, too.
Yeah, right.
Did you see how much it's going to cost to go to the national championship game?
A lot of money, which sounds like a great thing if they win. Like, you're going to spend that money. You better hope they win.
So the Indy Star, had an article about this, and right now the cheapest tickets are $3,500.
Yeah. So that would be a really good time. But is it the same if they end up not winning?
Okay, well, you're an events person, but so of course we're talking about
I've done this.
You've been to a national championship
to
game.
that exact stadium
You
when
didn't
Notre Dame played Alabama.
You didn't spend that much money.
Not that much money, but it was still a little bit of money.
Okay, so of course
And they didn't win.
We're talking about IU is
Yeah.
playing Miami Monday night in the national championship game, and because it's IU with the largest active alumni in the country,
right?
And obviously they've never experienced anything like this. There is a fever pitch. The other thing we'll get into a little bit later is how much flights are costing and how hard it is to get flights. But because there's such a fever pitch for these tickets, they're just astronomical prices. Where the cheapest ticket you can get is $3,500. Anything decent, like the Star said, lower level end zone and sideline seats were going for a minimum of $4,200 and $5,100 a piece. So people are paying huge money to go to this game. And don't forget, it's a home game for Miami, so their people are going to want to go as well.
Yeah, well, it is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and there are many people who can, they have that sort of discretionary income, and they can choose to do that. One of the reasons that the pricing is so high, also you got to understand Hard Rock Stadium, one of the smaller stadiums. So
why would they have the game there?
It's just the capacity is just not there.
Why would they have the national championship at a small stadium?
Where they rotate them around, right?
But we're in once upon a time I got like you got to have the bowl games in warm weather climates because
nobody wants to go to a snow bowl.
But as we saw with the Super Bowl when it was here in Indianapolis, and you're seeing now other cold weather climates, almost all these stadiums have some sort of roof. You can have the game anywhere. Don't we need to start moving this thing around? It doesn't have to be in Tempe, Arizona, or Southern California or Miami anymore. You can go wherever you want to go to have the national championship game.
If you're going to pay that much money, though, to go to a sporting event, wouldn't you like it to be in a warm weather place as well so that you can also enjoy some sunshine, walk on the beach perhaps?
Okay, so here are the most recent national well, hang on here just a second. Let me pull this up here. You went to one of these games, right? You went
to that stadium.
Tell us about that because you went to see it was Notre Dame, right?
It was Notre Dame in Alabama, and that was the Manti Te'o year. And Notre Dame just got crushed from Alabama. So it was a whole lot of fun for the first quarter.
Yeah, so here's where the previous – now, of course, we had the one in Lucas Oil Stadium. That was the anomaly. We had the one in 2022 in Lucas Oil Stadium. But here's the other ones where they've had the national championship. Arlington, Texas, Glendale, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, California, Louisiana, Florida, Indianapolis in 22, California, Texas, and now obviously we got this one in Miami. So I do wonder going forward if we're going to see a push to get at least the national championship game now that it's not a bowl anymore. It's not a bowl game anymore. It's the national championship game, right? It's its own thing out of these traditionally only warm weather climates.
So you're an IU grad. Is there a poll for you to make that trek to go down there? Not at these prices,
Casey, I took 6 years to get out of school. I barely went to school. I didn't try in school. I only got a degree because I didn't want to go through life with a bunch of people who I thought were absolute idiots, being able to say they were somehow smarter than me because they had a college degree. It was the biggest waste of $20,000 I could have ever imagined. I barely have the diploma on my wall, and I went to IUPUI, so it's sort of like TMU, Indiana University, right?
Right, yeah.
All right, let's get into some of this Minnesota stuff. The mayor there is completely ridiculous.
Sure.
Elizabeth Warren said, hold my beer. See what I did there?
Yeah.
And a lot of audio coming up next.
All right, you're listening to Kendall and Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
New Year's resolutions come and go. Big Ten wins, you earn those.
Norton in the corner. Bingo!
Big Ten and basketball means tougher defenses, louder buildings, and zero margin for error. Coach Darren DeVries has the Hoosiers ready for the work.
Our mindset has to be, regardless of shots falling, our defense has to keep us in the game.
Up next, IU versus Michigan State. Tonight at 8. No fluff, no filler. Hoosier basketball on 93 WIBC.
You know exactly why you need to remodel that kitchen of yours. The space, it's outdated. You can't move around like you used to. It doesn't work like it needs to. You want to entertain and you want to improve your quality of life. This can happen, just not with the kitchen you have. You need to call Booher Remodeling. BOOHER. BooherRemodeling.com. They can take that old kitchen that's deteriorating and broken down and turn it into something that works for you and your family. Their 5-step design process from start to finish, the consultation, the preliminary design, the design development, getting all the documents together, and then getting it done. The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. Booher Remodeling will guide you through the entire process, starting with a free initial consultation, and they stand behind their work with a 2-year workmanship guarantee. Create that new kitchen. Design experts can use an existing layout or begin completely from scratch. Talk to Booher Remodeling today. BOOHER. BooherRemodeling.com. That's BooherRemodeling.com.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/22/26, new customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
What say we start that new year with a new car at Tom Roush Lincoln? Hurry in for the 8, 9, 10 deal. Get $8,000 off new Nautilus or $9,000 off new Corsair. Or how about $10,000 off Lincoln Aviator? The 8, 9, 10 deal right now at Tom Roush Lincoln. Come get a great deal on all 3 from Tom Roush, where our family served yours since 1972.
Corsair stock number L25566, MSRP 55340. Nautilus stock number L26030, MSRP 62705. Aviator stock number L25384, MSRP 79450. See dealer for complete offer details.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Heating and air conditioning can be the largest investment you make in your home. Here at Family, we pride ourselves in offering many flexible options.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
This hour powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard air dealer. Nobody cares for you like family.
Okay, so everything Minnesota is completely ridiculous, but before we get to that, it's the Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey is back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
How you feeling, Faker?
Yeah, right. I'm doing great. Yeah, it was all a ruse. I just wanted you to appreciate me a little bit more.
Yeah, I knew when you popped in that stuff about potentially taking FMLA, I said, she's totally milking the system at this point.
That's it. You figured me out.
But coming up at 10 o'clock, I took a bunch of liberties while you were gone. I just started programming the show myself.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do, right?
And he was with us yesterday.
I asked Kevin, by the way, I said, are you keeping Rob on time? And he said, oh, yeah, things are running real smooth. And then I get in here, narrator, things were not running smooth.
Yeah. So coming up at 10 o'clock, producer Jason Dozier, he was Tony Katz's midday producer for a while. We sent him down to Du Bois County.
Yes.
And with the purpose of interviewing people in Du Bois County and getting the real real world feel. Like you can see a poll,
Mm-hmm.
you can hear from, like we had Jason McCoy last week from the Property Rights Alliance people, come up here and talk about how angry people are. I said, I want to know for myself if these people actually are as pissed off as we're led to believe. And so Jason went down to Du Bois County to talk to the people down there about this Mid-States Corridor project. Now, I know you've been out. This is my new little quest this year. And you know how I get with the quest.
Remind me about the Mid-State Corridor project.
So this is a project that the governor, Mike Braun, has been obsessed with going back to his time in the General Assembly, which is well over a decade ago now. And it is a 20-ish plus mile stretch of road that would be built through multiple southwest Indiana counties, Du Bois County being the primary one, which is the governor's home county, to connect I-64 to I-69. It is a multi-billion-dollar project, and the people down there are outraged because, one, it would cause mass disruption to their way and quality of life, but two, they don't see any benefit for it. And in the mix of all of this is the people who would, or at least are perceived would see the biggest benefit, are the people in the transportation and distribution industries, which I don't know if you're aware.
Right.
The governor made a few dollars in
Doing
the
just that.
transportation distribution industries.
Sure.
And so obviously there's huge pushback. Now this got taken to a new level last week. INDOT had a hearing in front of the Transportation Committee in the House of Representatives on this. Jim Pressel, who is a Republican, heads up that committee. And in light of INDOT saying they're canceling these hundreds of projects because there's no money, he said, well, what are we doing with this Mid-States Corridor? I don't see a lot of benefit on this thing. And you're saying you have no money, but yet you have billions of dollars or are willing to commit billions of dollars to this thing, which is a benefit we don't really see. And then INDOT went when he got asked about it. So I said, something stinks here. And we sent producer Jason down there to Du Bois County to find out how the locals are actually feeling, actually being impacted. Yesterday, we had the guy on who had a family farm that's been in his family for 175 years. And now this would just essentially destroy that family farm, split it in half. He cares for his elderly mother. It's going to make that very difficult. This thing is a disaster. And the question everybody should be asking is, why is the governor, at a time where the state claims they have no money, so adamant that this one project that the locals down there clearly don't want, why is the governor so adamant that it goes forward?
I think we can figure it out. Is there federal funding coming into play with this?
Well, we don't know, right? Because obviously the state just doesn't have several $billions lying around. You would assume they're going to need help from the feds. And then, of course, then you go back to that bizarre freak out the governor had during redistricting when he was trying to say, oh, the Trump administration has told us projects could be canceled, funds could be withheld. Really, what projects,
Which
Mr.
projects?
Governor?
Yeah.
And then his clown assistant, Micah Beckwith, tweeted out, well, absolutely, they told us that money would be withheld and projects would be stopped. And then, of course, that mysteriously got deleted very quickly. So
Right, that tweet did.
All sorts of questions being asked about the Mid-States Corridor project. And, well, we'll add to it coming up today at 10 o'clock.
Okay, so we've got word from real people.
Yeah. In the meantime, Minnesota, as big a dumpster fire as this state is, Minnesota has us times infinity.
Is this really effective leadership, you think?
Well, there is no leadership, and we talked about this yesterday, that there just is none, that these are unserious people behaving in an unserious fashion. They're actively working against a decent and law-abiding, orderly society. Jacob Frey is the mayor out there, and he had a little press conference yesterday. And now he's trying to indict ICE, and he claims that they're the ones costing residents all this money, not the people that are destroying stuff, not the people that are rioting, not the people that are fighting with ICE. It's ICE that's causing all the problems.
We are doing everything possible to keep our cities safe through this unprecedented time. And at the same time, we have police officers that are tired. We've seen damage substantially because we're now having to pay a ton of overtime. Millions of dollars of emergency overtime for law enforcement. Emergency operations have been activated across our city and state agencies, pulling focus on daily core services that we, by the way, are tasked with providing. Local police officers are being diverted from the very work that we need to be doing, and small businesses are losing significant revenue, with some worried that they may not survive this at all.
Small businesses like the Leering Center.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. Like upwards of $9 billion in fraud.
Right. And he's talking about how much money it's costing them in overtime.
Sure. And look, this extrapolates all across our country of these politicians who none of it's about you. None of it's about effective, efficient government. None of it's about holding people accountable. There's no shame in any of these people. They should be outraged. Now, Elizabeth Warren, you remember her, Senator Massachusetts, lied about being an Indian. You remember that,
right?
And she now has endorsed the lieutenant governor in the state of Minnesota, who was the right-hand, well, in this case, she's a woman, so the right-hand woman to Tim Walz while all this fraud was going on, and Elizabeth Warren said, we need some more of that. Yeah, take a listen.
I'm going to do anything I can to help. I am all in this fight. I've endorsed Peggy Flanagan in Democratic primary out in Minnesota for two reasons. Because Peggy Flanagan is a ferocious fighter on behalf of working people.
Who is Peggy Flanagan fighting for?
Well, think about this, Casey.
And do you really want Elizabeth Warren's endorsement?
Like if I told you, okay, Casey, you have to create $9 billion of screw up, you probably couldn't do it.
That's a lot. That's a lot of screw up.
Like if you spent $9 billion on government related stuff, you'd probably accidentally get something right. You'd be like, well, we can point to this thing. They can't do that. These people screwed up $9 billion. And Elizabeth Warren, who will probably run for president again on the Democrat side, is like, that's who I'm with. Now, she also went on to say in another media event that she, this is so great, and by great I mean the worst thing ever. She says Mamdani, the communist mayor of New York, he's the way.
We are not short on good ideas. And to win, every Democrat should be proposing concrete plans for lowering costs. Zoran Mamdani came from nowhere and took down a political dynasty. How? He ran a campaign tightly focused on the cost of living with easy-to-understand platform. Free buses, freeze the rent, and deliver no-cost childcare.
Free.
Right, exactly. It's not free. Somebody's paying for it.
They're just running.
Is there a money tree in her backyard?
Everyone's just volunteering their time now, Casey.
Yeah.
All right, we got to take a break. Now, look, I'm handling the intros and outros because while Casey's here, she's just stealing money from the company because I did all the work on the template last night.
True.
Just wanted to point that out. You are just literally stealing money from Alfred Liggins.
I told
and
you,
I'm
I
gonna
said I have
report you.
no idea what you covered. So you're going to have to do it and get me all caught up.
You're like that. Remember that guy that was Perot's vice president? He was some sort of admiral or something in the military. And in the vice presidential debate, he opens up with, I'm going to look up this guy's name. He goes, I know what you're all thinking. Who am I? Why am I here? That's you today.
Not me.
All right, we'll take a break. I know you've not been following the news at all, but Jerome Powell is in some big trouble, the head of the Federal Reserve.
Right. At this point, you have to pick your team. Are you Team Trump or Team J. Powell?
This is super fascinating. We got some audio from this. Of course, the Trump administration going very hard at Jerome Powell. We'll play what they had to say when we come back.
It's on the way. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The highest court in the land is hearing it. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 9:30. Today, the Supreme Court is looking at two cases regarding the state's power to ban transgender athletes from competing in women's sports.
The justices are going to dig into the idea of fairness and look at whether gender identity does or does not apply to sex-based discrimination as prohibited under Title IX. And the eventual ruling in these two cases, this could change the game for millions of female athletes all across the country. Two cases, one out of Idaho, the other West Virginia, where two transgender athletes have challenged their respective states on bans that they have on males competing in female sports. In the West Virginia case, a student named Becky Pepper Jackson, born a biological male, made headlines after suing in order to play girls' sports.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff reporting lower courts have struck down the state's ban as violations of Title IX and equal protection. The Republican Study Committee is releasing the framework for their second second reconciliation package to address the affordability crisis. The bill, titled Making the American Dream Affordable Again, has 6 categories, including measures to bring down the cost of homes, healthcare, and drugs, as well as cutting spending and energy costs. Meanwhile, the BBC is hoping a U.S. court will dismiss a lawsuit filed against them by President Trump, who claims the network maliciously edited his words regarding the 2020 riot at the U.S. Capitol. Your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management. The Dow is up just 7 points, 49,590. The S&P 500 is in the green, up 8 points, 6,977. And the NASDAQ trending up today, 27 points. It's up 25,787. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Mike Rowe here with a fun fact. Did you know that 50% of the air that you breathe inside your home comes from your crawl space? Yeah. Whether your crawl space is wet, musty, or your floors are bouncy, do yourself a favor and call a Groundworks company. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to repair your crawl space. Schedule a free inspection with Indiana Foundation Service, a Groundworks company.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Join me January 24th as we sip some bourbon and talk about how we win the midterms. Trump, 1 year later, the Red Tie Gala, the highs of the last year, the lows of the last year, and how we win the midterms. We're going to drink great bourbon, eat great food, laugh a lot. Come join me January 24th, 2026, downtown Indianapolis at the Hyatt Regency. Trump, 1 year later, with me, Tony Katz. Go to tickets.tonykatz.com, tickets.tonykatz.com, or get your tickets right now at WIBC.com, and join me for some great bourbon January 24th.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaim their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
Lose weight or stop smoking with hypnosis, guaranteed, or your money back. Only $59.99. Destroy unwanted cravings, late night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, or weight gain, or your money back. Hypnosis, January 29th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss of 5:30 p.m., stop smoking at 8. And January 31st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m., stop smoking at 2. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
So the Trump administration is all in on going after Jerome Powell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's going to go great, and the response has not been good so far. And so I figured maybe we get into this here. It's Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's back.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, real quick, and look,
Yeah.
we had some fun earlier about me telling everybody that you were on death's door, that you were running away, or
Felt like
were
it.
coming back, or you were abandoning us. Do you want to kind of? And I'll leave it up to you. What I told everybody is, I said, look, Casey is having some health issues. I don't think she's got one foot in the grave, another foot on the banana peel, but she's having some struggles. She'll be back whenever. And
someday.
Well, and look, the power of prayer is immense. We asked people to pray for you. They did. It has clearly worked. But like I'll open up to you because it's your life. But I thought maybe you might want to share a little bit of what you went through so people know, and why you're back, and if you were to disappear again for a day or two, you're not like 100% out of the woods. So
What's going on?
Yeah, just let everybody know what's going on.
You want me to do that right now?
Yeah, go for it.
I did say that I was accepting good vibes and prayers.
Yeah.
And everybody said, you got it.
Yeah.
Which is a great thing.
And we did the call for prayer here. And look, if I told you we were going to do this segment, then you'd get all nervous about it. So that's why I'm just hitting you with it now.
I see what you did there. Yeah, no, I got sick, Rob. You want more detail?
Yes, you did not have a common cold. I'm not like all your.
This wasn't the flu or the whatever's been going around or anything like that. I hadn't been feeling good, and I was having a really hard time getting in to see my doctor. It's really an indictment on what's going on with the healthcare situation in the country, especially here in the state of Indiana, especially in the rural areas where we need more people in the healthcare industry everywhere. But yeah, I was having a hard time getting in to see a doctor. Finally got in to see one of his colleagues, and they said, "Yeah, you're messed up. Here's some antibiotics." And I felt good for a few days, but then they weren't working, and ended up in the emergency room.
Yeah.
And they said, "Yeah, you're not doing so good." So they gave me one of those fun banana bags, which is all full of electrolytes and all the good stuff you need and more antibiotics. And I thought, that's going to do the trick. Nope, that didn't do the trick either. And finally, you know that when your doctor calls you after seeing your labs and he says, "I need you to come see me on my lunch break," you're like, wow, okay. I'm finally got, after 2 doctor's visits and emergency room visits and 4 different antibiotics, we found the weapons grade version of antibiotics that did the trick. And I'm on my way.
And being sick is so frustrating.
Yeah, because you're trying to find out what's wrong. They run all sorts of tests on you, and the whole time you feel like crap.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's, obviously you don't feel well, and then there's the stress of, hey, is this something bigger? Because in a normal case of whether it's, a virus or cold or whatever, right? It'll run its course. It's annoying, right? It doesn't feel good. You don't sound good, whatever, but it runs its course. And after a certain period of things not running its course, then you start kind of, getting worried about stuff. So now you have the stress of not feeling well on top of, hey, what's this thing that's actually wrong with me?
Yeah, exactly. And there was a moment there where we did think that maybe it was a little more serious potential. And the way I certainly felt like it could have been more serious because I was not getting better. Thankfully, my prayers and your prayers helped, and it was not bad news. It could have been a lot worse, and thankfully it wasn't. So I'm grateful. And when I found out, man, I tell you, I could have run a marathon.
Yeah, you were very happy.
Yeah, because when you're considering, something like cancer, it's awful. And thankfully, that's not the answer I received. So I'm so happy about that.
And I told your husband repeatedly, he probably didn't share this with you. I said, look, your wife is being a woman right now, and you got to tell her not to worry. Like, she's just so needlessly worrying. It's all going to be fine. And, and look, but if you're gone a day or two in the near future, I know you still got follow-up stuff you got to go to. I just wanted people to know that you're doing better, and you may be gone another day or two eventually, but we're so thankful for the prayers and everything else. And so I know you're so uncomfortable right now.
I'm so uncomfortable. Here's the thing. It was one of those situations where I would have rather have been working than to go through all of that.
I would have rather you been working too, because doing this template is awful. It's awful.
I know.
My wife kept
Tell
looking
me
at
about
me
it.
every night, and she'd be like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Work." She's like, "You don't do any work." And then I was like, "Casey is still out." And she's like, "Really?"
Yeah.
The nerve of her.
I guess I could have done it from my bed, but you would have had
No, I would have ignored
some
most
really
of your stories.
interesting stories. You wouldn't believe how much football I watched, because at the time I was feeling so bad that I was having a really hard time keeping up on the news because it was heavy. It's heavy
depressing
stuff, right? And I wanted things light and to take some of the load off. And it's the one thing that Jim and I, my husband, were bonding over. I was like, "Hey, who's playing tonight?" He thought it was the greatest thing ever. Really? You want to watch this game? Yes.
So he was excited that you were watching the game with you,
Right.
with him.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's fascinating to me because
Because normally it's just background. I'm like, except for a few, premier events, like the IU game I was definitely into. But some of these secondary NFL games,
Yeah.
like, I never root for that team before. But we were actually, okay,
wild.
who are we cheering for in this game? And,
I wonder if how our listeners feel about that because, like, I view sports because I don't have any hobbies. So my getaway is when I either sit in my living room by myself and watch a sporting event, or I'll go over to my dad's house. I kind of don't like it when my wife is sitting there. Like the other night, the Bears, they played on Prime.
right, against the Packers. I was there. I watched.
And the game was early enough that, like, my wife was still up, and she's sitting there in the living room with us. And I'm like, okay, whatever I do, don't look at her and go, what are you doing here? Whatever you do, don't look at her and go, what are you doing here? Whatever you do, don't look at her and go, what are you doing here? But in my mind, I'm like, why are you out here? Like
She wanted to be near you.
But I can't. No, I just think it didn't dawn on her that it's like you're here. You're in my orbit, right? Like, I love you. We're around each other all the time. It's great. I love her to death. But, like, you've got to have separation in order for there to be success. And what was the Seinfeld Worlds Colliding?
Right.
Like, you're in here while the game is going
Now, I can understand the Bears game and the Packers game. That was a big game. Interesting the way it ended.
Did you make it till the end of the game?
You lost money on
Yes,
that.
and I'm doing it again this week, Casey.
Right. But it would be a totally next level move if your wife was watching, say, I don't know, the Bills game. Like, Josh Allen, I know who that is.
Yeah, but she doesn't even know who's playing. She's like, are those your friends? Is this your friends' game? Yeah, okay. Who's winning?
Right? Who are we rooting for? I do think at one time it was the Eagles. I think I said, the Jets. And Jim looked at me and he goes, it's the Eagles, honey. And I said, they're both green.
Well, she goes to bed, and I was giving her a hard time because she goes to bed. And so I wake her up in the morning, and I go, honey, like sarcastically, I said, you missed the end to the greatest football game ever played. And she just looks at me and goes, you woke me up for that? Then why were you sitting in there watching the game
Totally
if you don't
unintrusive.
care?
She was on her phone the whole time.
Yeah,
wasn't
she was.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we got to get, speaking of sports, this Marcus Freeman thing was totally fascinating. The head coach of Notre Dame was accused of, I guess, basically assaulting somebody. We have a resolution in that. Plus, we got the Trump stuff with Jerome Powell. All sorts of things to get to when we come back.
You're listening to Kendall Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband, and he lost weight, and his cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend lost 20 pounds her first 2 months.
What are you waiting for? Lose the weight or stop smoking with Hypnosis, guaranteed only $59.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late-night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Hypnosis Thursday, January 29th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss hypnosis 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking hypnosis 8 p.m. And Saturday, January 31st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss hypnosis 11 a.m. Stop smoking hypnosis 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Casey and the Sunshine Band, live at Old National Center, January 23rd at 7:30 p.m. It's the ultimate throwback party. Get your tickets today at WIBC.com.
So the Trump administration is going at Jerome Powell hard. I don't think this is a great idea, but we'll see what happens. Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's back. Have you been following this, Casey? That Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, which controls money in this country, money policy, came out over the weekend. And
he's fighting back, isn't he?
Well, he said that there is a criminal investigation into me over testimony I gave to the U.S. Senate. This is bullcrap. Trump is coming after me because I won't cut the interest rates as fast as he wants. And I got to say, good on him for standing up for himself and coming straight up and goes, this is going on, and I'm going to tell you what's going on.
It's interesting because there's two sides to this argument. Well, one, they started it when they started, indicting politicians for these different things. That's kind of what opened the floodgates on everything. But they did it to Trump, and he's like, okay, I'll just do it to anybody who doesn't agree with me and go along with what I'm going to say. But so many people on one side are saying, get rid of the Fed. And then there's others that are a little more cautious. It's an institution that's been around for 100 years now, and you don't know what's going to happen if he's no longer there. We had economists for a really long time saying that the tariffs were going to hurt the economy. Well, so far the GDP is growing and inflation has been at the same rate. So if you get rid of the Fed, we don't know what's going to happen. And people who say they do, they're lying to you.
All right, so Carolyn Levitt, she's the spokeswoman for the president. She said she doesn't know if there's anything criminal that happened here, but she says she does know Powell's not very good at his job.
Well, look, as for the criminal probe, you'll have to ask the Department of Justice about that. They are in charge. I do know one thing is for sure. Jerome Powell has proven he's not very good at his job. As to whether he's a criminal, that's an answer the Department of Justice is going to have to find. And whether or not they do, I'd defer that to them.
Now, keep in mind, the Federal Reserve's charge is to balance inflation and employment. Their job is to get employment as full as they can without upsetting inflation. And Trump is angry because he knows those tariffs. And we had Michael Munger, Duke economist, on yesterday talking about this. Look, Trump
wants to get rid of the Fed, doesn't he?
Well, I think any reasonable person, and by the way, we're going to play some Milton Friedman here for you. In fact, let's do that. Kev, let's go to number 6, because one of the things we were talking about yesterday with Dr. Munger is that these tariffs have made things more expensive. Now, that's not inflation. It's a separate thing. It's manipulating the price of goods and services, but it is making everything more expensive. And one of the things Trump is trying to do is mask that by artificially making the economy, quote unquote, better because money is more available. Well, as we found during COVID, which is exactly what they did there, hey, we can shut society down and everything will be just fine. Here's a bunch of money. Of course, the more money people have, the less it is worth, and the more things cost, right? It's cyclical. Here is famed economist Milton Friedman. Now, obviously, he has been gone for quite a while, so this is many years ago. But he was talking about the damage, the idea, whether it's, Jerome Powell, which this is way before Jerome Powell, but whether it's Jerome Powell or whoever, the Federal Reserve and the money policy in this country over the past 100-plus years has done immense damage to regular people and the buying power of regular people. And here is what Milton Friedman had to say years ago.
I've long been in favor of abolishing it. I think there is no institution in the United States that has such a high public standing and such a poor record of performance. The Federal Reserve System was established in 1914, started operation in 1914. It presided over a doubling of prices during World War I. It produced a major collapse in 1921. It had a good period from about 1922 to about 28. Then it undertook actions which led to a recession in 1929 and 30. And it converted that recession by its actions into the Great Depression. The major villain in the Great Depression was, in my opinion, unquestionably, the Federal Reserve System. Since that time, it presided over a doubling of prices during World War II. It financed the inflation of the 1970s. On the whole, it has a very poor record. It's done far more harm than good.
That's a very uplifting resume, Casey.
Right?
Wouldn't you want to hire those people?
Well, okay, so what are we saying if we get rid of the Federal Reserve? Go back to just market forces, supply and demand?
Sure. I mean, how did we do it before? The people have talked for years about the gold standard. I mean, you have an unelected agency. I mean, these are appointed people.
Right.
Now, what was interesting last night, this was fascinating. I actually had a conversation with somebody, this is very strange, but who works for the Federal Reserve in Chicago. Actually met this person last night. It was out of my signature drive, in fact, that we're doing the city status signature drive, which, by the way,
right, you're going to have to tell me all about that.
I'm going to be at the Brownsburg Arby's today from 12:30 to 1:30. I'm going to be eating my lunch, and if you'd like to come by to the Brownsburg Arby's, you can hang out, we shoot the breeze. If you live in the town limits, you can sign the city status form. I'll be there from 12:30 to 1:30 today. You can come to the Brownsburg Arby's just off Interstate 74 and hang out with me. But this guy worked for the Federal Reserve in Chicago. Now, he's not in the money policy side of things, but it's fascinating talking to him about how it works and how it operates. And look, the economy is so large now, and it's so robust, and I just don't think it's as simple as people going, well, abolish the Federal Reserve. Like, you would have to accept the fact that if you did that, there would just be so much uncertainty, and you would inject intense calamity into the economy. Some people would be willing to do that.
Sure.
But
Well, that's the thing. Doesn't the Federal Reserve give us some sense of stability?
Well,
And
again,
without it,
look at the track record, though.
what's going to happen? We don't know.
Other than, as Milton Friedman laid out, a brief period in the 1920s where it was fairly effectively run and governed. Can you point to any time in American history where you say, wow, that really helped elevate regular people? Wow, the buying power of regular people really intensified. No, what you have seen is one, what appears to be bad choice as it relates to money supply after another. And when you have unelected people who are making decisions, now I don't think the answer is put Jerome Powell in prison. I don't think Jerome Powell giving testimony about excessive spending because this all relates to the Federal Reserve building,
Right.
It came in over budget, Casey. Imagine that. But real quick,
Overrun our
do we have
costs.
time to get this? I think we do. Yeah. Okay, let's play this Peter Navarro clip. He's a senior counsel for trade and manufacturing advisor to Trump. And the hypocrisy of these people being so upset now over excess spending on something, these people are just ridiculous. Listen to this.
First of all, the Fed is politicized. Chairman Powell is the worst Fed chair since Arthur Burns, and he is the poster child for politicizing the Fed. The only reason why he's still there is because he papered over the fiscal irresponsibility of Joe Biden and got America into an inflation crisis that President Trump is in the process of curing. So spare me on that. But if you actually look at what he's being investigated for, I mean, look, it looks like there's like luxury elevators and dining rooms. He claims that the thing was never renovated before when in fact it was. And it's just, let's see what the investigation says.
I don't know, we got to get to a break here, but the hypocrisy of these guys, now they're very concerned. $1 trillion annual deficits. They printed $5 trillion in 2020. Now they're outraged over excessive, unaccountable government spending, a pox on all these people's houses. All right, when we come back, producer Jason from the Tony Katz Midday Show. We sent him down to Du Bois County to interview people who are not happy with Governor Braun about this Mid-States corridor. We'll play it for you coming up next.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hammer and Nigel here. Bill Demery would like to give you a 20% upfront bonus when you invest your money. Not only do you get a 20% bonus, you're also going to get an annual return that's averaged nearly 10% for the past decade. Discover how you could get an upfront 20% bonus plus an additional return that's averaged nearly 10% for the past 10 years.
Bill Demery explains things in a way that's easy to understand. Because let's be honest, the world of retirement and finance, it can be pretty complicated. But not when you work with the best. Bill Demery, your retirement guy. Contact him right now, 317-805-4716. Ask about the upfront 20% bonus on your money. Upfront, 317-805-4716, or visit yourretirementguy.com. That's yourretirementguy.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob for We Grow Hair Indy. You know, when it comes to restoring your hair and your confidence, picking the right team makes all the difference. At We Grow Hair Indy, some of the biggest names in sports, radio, and entertainment trust them with their hair restoration. 5 years ago, I made the choice to head over to We Grow Hair Indy, and every time I look in the mirror, so glad I did. Call today to schedule your free consultation, 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. WeGrowHairIndy.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
Serving Indiana means being ready for growing energy demands. At Duke Energy, we're adding more power to the grid and working on hundreds of local projects to make your energy more reliable. We've strengthened nearly 20,000 poles, updated more than 270 substations, and prevented hundreds of thousands of outage hours with self-healing grid technology, so your power can come back on faster than ever. That's the smarter energy future Indiana deserves. Paid for by Duke Energy shareholders.
Guys and ladies, you made New Year's resolutions to get back in shape. Want real results in 2026?
Go to Centergen X and Low T Center for a free men's TRT test and $200 off the women's hormone test. GetMyHealthFix.com.
For 22 years, Exercise Inc. has helped Hoosiers build muscle, lose weight, and transform their health, creating lifelong habits. Only takes 20 minutes once a week. Visit ExerciseInc.com.
Welcome to the most wonderful time of the year, when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, scream in terror, and start looking for new ways to save money. If that's you, why not cut your wireless bill in half with a saver plan from Pure Talk? You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast 5G network for just $20 a month. Ho, ho, ho. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will help you switch in minutes. Again, talk, text, and data for just $20 a month.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
In 2 minutes from the Dugan Air Heating and Cooling Mitsubishi Electric Studios, what part of Indy police are in this morning conducting raids where officers saved 2 kids in a vehicle that landed in a retention pond, the tort claim against IPS and a special education teacher, and how the Pacers were able to extend their winning streak. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
The Supreme Court is about to consider transgender rights. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
So we hope that common sense prevails.
That's Idaho Attorney General Raul Labrador, a Republican, hoping that justices uphold his state's law, telling Fox.
Common sense should allow women to be protected in their spaces and in sports.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff's outside the court, where 2 states will be heard in this morning's arguments over laws blocked by federal judges.
So the Idaho case, that is Little v. Hecox, it centers around the Equal Protection Clause. Interestingly, the transgender athlete that sued the state in order to play women's sports there has since sought to dismiss the case, but it will be heard alongside West Virginia v. PBJ, which zeroes in a bit more on Title IX, in that a 15-year-old transgender student named Becky Pepper is challenging the state's ban on males participating in female sports.
I wish these people would educate themselves just so they would know that I'm just there to have a good time.
Minnesota is asking courts to stop ICE actions Democrats call illegal as protests rage on over last week's deadly immigration shooting.
With activists shooting fireworks at officers.
blocking traffic, impounding on agents' cars. Taller barricades are going up around a federal building in Minneapolis. That as even more federal agents are en route to the Twin Cities, on top of the thousands already on the ground.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. As President Trump considers possible military action against Iran over its deadly protest crackdown, he just posted on Truth Social that Iranian patriots should keep protesting, adding help is on its way. A U.S.-based human rights group now says 2,000 people have been killed.
Overnight, thousands of people gathered in the streets of major cities once again, including the capital of Tehran. Further south in the city of Isfahan, Fox News was able to make contact with a man who is using Starlink. He described battles between protesters and security forces who are using live ammunition.
That's Fox's Trey Yingst. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
An early morning raid. Cloudy and 38. Will be partly to mostly cloudy throughout the day with the high towards 50. I'm Jarrett Lewis. It's now 10:02. Local and state agencies are on the near north side of Indy in the Washington Park area. Unmarked cars arrived to the 3300 block of North Tacoma Avenue early this morning, with officers heading into at least one house.
Just heavy police presence, helicopter up in the air.
That man told WIBC that he woke up around 5 this morning to see police lights outside his window. At least one person was also seen being taken into custody. This is a developing story.
Car in the water for one of the victims. Every occupant out of the vehicle at this time. CPR in progress on 2 patients. One was with IMPD in good condition, 014.
That's dispatch audio just after midnight when a man ended up driving his car into a retention pond off Pendleton Way near I-465 and Pendleton Pike. He unfortunately died while his 2 young kids were rescued by 4 Indianapolis police officers who jumped into the freezing water to pull them out of the submerged car.
I want to confirm Medic 37 transported 2 IMPD officers.
Affirmative.
Those 2 officers taken to a hospital. Police say they are doing all right. Attorneys representing a 5-year-old IPS student and their parent have filed a tort claim against the district, claiming a special education teacher had repeatedly abused the child. The school in question is Urban Act Academy at Washington Irving School 14 in downtown Indy. The attorneys claim multiple incidents of physical and verbal abuse by the teacher, including them pushing the student to the ground, dragging them across the floor, and trapping them in a closet. They are seeking $700,000 in damages per reported incident and accuse IPS of negligence for failing to notify the parent of the abuse. After a 13-game losing streak, the Pacers are now stacking some wins together. They've made it 3 in a row after defeating the Boston Celtics last night at Gainbridge Fieldhouse 98-96. They will host the Raptors tomorrow night. And the Indiana Hoosiers are sticking to their usual routine the best that they can, according to head coach Kurt Cignetti, as they get ready to take on the Hurricanes in Miami.
A huge challenge against a great Miami team. Very impressive. Really in all 3 phases. A lot of twitched up athletes playing fast, playing with a nasty edge. Coach Cristobal's done a great job.
The national championship game set for Monday at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. IU is a touchdown favorite. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey back in 1 minute.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
The governor is poisoned in his home county, and one project is to blame. Let's hear from the folks down there. 93 WIBC. It's the Kendall and Casey show. And look, we've been talking about this a lot over the past couple of weeks, this Mid-States Corridor project. And even though it is centered in Du Bois County, southwest Indiana, it has a profound impact on us because NDOT has come out and said that 300-plus projects have now been scrapped and canceled due to a lack of funds, yet this multi-billion-dollar project rolls on. And we thought, because this poll came out, if those of you recall, over Christmas break, that showed 62% of the people in Du Bois County, Mike Braun's home county, disapprove of the job that he's doing. And once we started investigating, we realized it's centered around this Mid-States Corridor project, which is the plan to connect I-64 to 69, which some people believe is being done and being supported by the governor because it would help his distribution business. So we said, let's find out what's actually going on down there. So we got a guy, just like everything else. We've got a guy. Joining us now in studio, Jason Dozier. You know him best probably as producer Jason, who spent well, a great deal of your life producing the Tony Katz Midday Show. Producer Jason, hello.
Well, that was actually about 1 year with Tony. You blow that up a lot, but but it was a fun time with Tony.
Yeah, so it just felt like many years of your life.
I've been around WIBC a while, so.
So you went down there. You're a guy who you love the travel. You love the idea of the adventure. And we were talking on the phone one day, and you said, man, this is a super fascinating story, why these people are so pissed off down in Du Bois County. What if I went down there and talked to them myself?
Well, the idea was to go down initially and just maybe walk around the courthouse square or something. I figure if 60 to 70% of the people are against this, then most everybody would have an opinion, good or bad, or at least they would know of it. And then it kind of blew up into perfect timing. They were having a meeting about the Mid-States Corridor. They do this on a monthly basis where they go to the Schnitzelbank.
That's the name of the restaurant?
That's the name of the restaurant, right.
The Schnitzelbank.
The Schnitzelbank, right.
Doesn't that just scream Southern Indiana, the Schnitzelbank?
Right, and it's a beautiful German restaurant, but they have a banquet room, had about 100 people in there. They told me there would be about 100 people in there, and there were probably more. And a lot of this was because they've been sharing your podcast, talking about it, because they can't pick up WIBC like they used to be able to with 1070. They can't pick it up down there. So I was amazed when he announced in the middle of the meeting that I was there, and I'm just there for you. I'm not there. You're the one with this whole story. I'm just there with the recorder getting notes and finding out what the people think. And there was a huge round of applause when they mentioned the Kendall and Casey show. And my initial reaction was, how do you people even know about it? And of course, they're all holding up their phones, and they've got the podcast.
That's great.
And but it's very the thing that caught me the most down there was that initially I thought I was in a room with just a bunch of Republicans that were angry with the mayor, but no, there were Democrats there too. But they were all in unison, and it's one of the first times I've seen a room of Republicans and Democrats all on the same page. Unfortunately, it's against a Republican, but it's their hometown boy.
Mike Braun.
You would think you would go to any town, a small town, and they would be proud. They would have a sign, as you enter the town, home of Mike Braun. But no, they don't, and they don't want that sign.
Did you get the feeling, because when we had Jason McCoy, who's with the president of the Property Rights Alliance group, on last week, I got the feeling a bunch of this, I mean, it's just hatred at this point, right? And you're going to play some of this audio for us here in just a minute. But a lot of it is the people feel they're being sold out because Braun's company, this distribution company that he owns down in Southwest Indiana, that he's made a lot of money with, and good for him, right?
Sure.
But a lot of people feel they're being sold out, that this is going to help him make money at the expense of them. Is that an accurate statement?
Well, yes, and they're not so much pissed off at him for trying to make money. They're not upset about that. Some of these folks are probably wealthier than Mike Braun is. But that's not the point. The point is that they have a small community. They don't want it to be a Brownsburg. and they don't feel like they need an interstate connecting I-64 to I-69 that would save, in theory, 5 to 10 minutes of travel time, yet it would take all the traffic away from Jasper. So you've got business people that are upset about that. And you've got people, again, that are upset that literally this expressway would run through their front yard. Now, they would have to give up their homes. One question I asked a gentleman, yesterday, the Mr. Bartlett, or Bartelt. My question was, this has been in your home for 175 years in your family. You've got a lot of acreage. If they do this, they, in theory, have to pay you double. You're going to make a lot of money. You're going to be wealthier than Mike Braun. And of course, you've got hometown folks like, that means nothing to me.
Yeah.
They're going to tear my mother's house down.
Yeah.
That means more to me than any amount of money.
You said this yesterday because you joined us at the end of the show yesterday. And look, we are dedicated to seeing this thing through because I think it stinks. And we were right on some other stuff with Braun that we thought stunk, and especially the Tom Kleinhelter, the sheriff down there in Du Bois County, what was going on with him. And we got that story statewide attention. This stinks to me. And you said this yesterday, which is, it's literally like something out of a Mellencamp song that's going on down there.
It is. When the lady told me that the interstate will run through my front yard, I mean, those lyrics were just right there. And it's there's a lot going on. It's not just that they're building a road. They build roads all the time. They've built interstates. We've got 69, 64, 70, and they had to tear somebody's houses down to get there. You had to go through somebody's front yard, and we understand progress. They are not against progress. It's just when you look at this, there is no reason to have this interstate when you have 231, I drove down 231. It takes almost an hour from the Crane Naval Center area, right when you get off 69 to get down to Jasper. You go through Lagodi. Lagodi is something else we need to look into because according to the website of the proposed expressway, it's going through downtown Lagodi. So they're not happy with it either. Martin, Davies, and Du Bois County, the only people that are really for this, from what I gather, and again, I'm not an expert on this, is the city council in Jasper. The mayor who is for it is stepping down, and the idea is there will be a city council member installed as mayor who is for the project. The mayor will move over to the city council. That's all just speculation and rumor.
Real quick. So you're going to be with us. You're going to be with us over a couple days. We're going to do a segment each day on this. So tell your friends. But I wanted to get one here today. Like I said, you sat down and talked with these people. Tell us who we're going to hear from.
Well, hopefully we get to a couple of them here today. This first one sets it up. Ironically, the lady's name, Teresa Kendall.
Oh, no relation.
As far as we know.
Yeah, could be.
But, hey. So she sets it up as far as she's a Democrat, but she sets it up as far as how this community got together and how they're working together.
My name is Teresa Kendall, and I'm from the Indy metro area. And my husband was used to be state senator back in the late 70s, early 80s. His name was Mike Kendall. So
His name was what again?
Mike Kendall.
Okay.
When he retired his law office, we moved here. He was from Jasper. We get here, we get involved in politics, and we ended up running across all kinds of people that were talking about this road. And, we decided, what we need to do is get together. And the thing that's amazing is that the politics in Du Bois County is pretty polarized. So now we've got this group of people, we've got a community that's really strong and really big. And, there's a lot of people that are very staunch about their political views, and they don't want to listen, whether they're on either side. And the thing is that we stopped and we listened to each other. We're people that are working for something that's right. We're on the good side of this. Mike Braun is on the bad side of it. He really is. And that's why I know that we're going to prevail. And I'll tell you right now, one thing, that road is dead, just like Mike Braun's political career.
Well, she certainly went out with a bang on that, didn't she, producer Jason?
You just had to wait for the end on that one.
It gets Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. Jason Dozier, producer Jason, you know him from producing the Tony Katz Midday Show, went down to Du Bois County. He's talking with some folks, talking with a lot of folks that are really upset about this Mid-States Corridor project that's going to cost us as taxpayers billions of dollars. I'll tell you what, I know you got a lot more audio to get to. I'll tell you what, why don't we do this? Can you stick around for a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. What have I got to do?
Okay, very good. So if you're enjoying what we're doing, what am I doing?
Sorry.
That's always what I've been my whole life with you. What else do I have to do? I'll hang out with Rob. Top of next hour. I want you to come back top of next hour, and we'll play some more of these people that are being really impacted by this multi-billion-dollar Mid-States Corridor project. Sound good?
Sounds like a plan,
All right,
Rob.
Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
New Year's resolutions come and go. Big Ten wins, you earn those.
Norton in the corner. Bingo!
Big Ten basketball means tougher defenses, louder buildings, and zero margin for error. Coach Darren DeVries has the Hoosiers ready for the work.
Our mindset has to be, regardless of shots falling, our defense has to keep us in the game.
Up next, IU versus Michigan State. Tonight at 8. No fluff, no filler. Hoosier basketball on 93 WIBC.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaim their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday. Let's do this Monday. ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
This hour powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard air dealer. Nobody cares for you like family.
So there is finally some sort of resolution in this Marcus Freeman case. This was wild. It's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's back. You are the world's biggest Notre Dame fan, so I'm sure you were watching this with great interest about the Notre Dame football coach being alleged of having assaulted somebody.
Marcus Freeman, the only living Notre Dame football coach that I have not met.
Oh.
Little.
Well, how many living ones are left? Lou Holtz?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I'm sure there's... Oh, they went through all those coaches. All those guys are still alive, right?
Yeah.
I've just blocked out the past 20 years of Notre Dame football.
Right?
Like, I was thinking, like, Ara Parseghian,
Met him.
Dan Devine.
Mhm,
Yeah, but I mean,
yep.
okay. So, yeah, and then there's just like a 20-year block there. And I've tried to forget Brian Kelly, too. Some
Yes.
people are like, what is that idiot talking about?
Do you
Anyway.
think Brian Kelly's done coaching, by the way?
No.
You think he'll end up somewhere?
No way. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe not this year, but I think if there's a university to be scammed, he's
Right.
gonna
Sign me up.
He's gonna get
He's
all
your
over
guy.
that. So Marcus Freeman, the head coach of Notre Dame, he has a whole bunch of kids, right? He's got several children, I believe.
Well, I know he's got one that's I believe, the senior in high school.
Yeah, and then they go to one of the, like Penn, I think, is one of the schools they go to up there.
That's where my daughter went.
And so his son is a wrestler. His high school age son is a wrestler. And they're at this, public wrestling event. And Marcus Freeman allegedly gets into it with one of the opposing team's coaches. And it resulted in this guy trying to get charges filed against Marcus Freeman.
Yeah, Chris Flieger was the name of the guy. He's the assistant wrestling coach at New Prairie High School. And
this was so bizarre.
I don't know. The Mishawaka police released the footage, and it's very uneventful.
Yeah, well, this guy had made this allegation that Marcus Freeman, according to Indy Star, others have this article, that Marcus Freeman had put his hands on him, and the police look. Obviously, it's in a school, so there's cameras everywhere. There was cameras on the thing, and they're like, yeah, that didn't
Nothing
happen.
happened there.
Everybody go home. And so he's been totally cleared of all this, and this is now behind him. But I was telling you, it does sort of put in perspective how, if you're a person of any sort of notoriety, it's got to kind of be tough, especially visually notable. Because you and I can go places. And unless people recognize our voice, it's not like people see us a whole bunch. Now you can watch us on YouTube, and encourage everybody to do that. Kendall and Casey in your YouTube browser. But
we're also not coaching Notre Dame football.
Well, right. But I'm saying, like, that guy,
right,
Marcus Freeman in this case, he goes out, and you've instantly got a target on your back because people see a payday potentially in, hey, if I can get you to do the wrong thing or say the wrong thing, and that's got to kind of suck to always have to be aware of your surroundings because somebody could be out to get you.
Well, especially like a community like the South Bend area. It's not, a major metropolitan city. The population isn't as great as Indianapolis, but I believe this stems a little bit more from sour grapes than anything, because the wrestling coach had invited Marcus Freeman's son to come wrestle for him. The Freemans declined.
And so now he's trying to get his dad thrown in
Yeah,
jail.
I mean, it does seem kind of like you don't want to come play with me. Forget you then.
Now, this guy, photos of this guy surfaced, and Marcus Freeman's a pretty cut dude.
He is.
He's not like, again, not Brian Kelly
He
or
works
Charlie
out.
Weiss. Yeah. I don't, is he even 40 years old yet? He's very young by college football coaching standards. And he does not look like a guy I would want to throw down with. And this guy that got into it with him didn't exactly look like Hulk Hogan.
Right.
And so I thought, well, that's probably the wrong guy to push the buttons of when you're not all that big yourself.
He's 39.
39, okay. So
This month, by the way. His birthday's in January.
what have I done with my life?
Right?
He's 39 years old,
Mhm.
and he's the coach at Notre Dame.
Right.
He's one of the highest paid coaches in the country, and he just went to the national championship last year.
January 10th, so just 3 days ago, he turned 39.
Just turned 39.
Just turned 39. And by all
And
accounts...
I'm stuck here with you.
Right. Sorry about your luck. But by all accounts, Marcus Freeman, known to be a guy with integrity.
Yeah, seems like a very good guy. The exact opposite of what Notre Dame had before Marcus Freeman. Okay, so I want to play this audio for you because this is hilarious. So Whitney Cummings, she's an actress. She's a comedian.
Mhm.
She's been on a whole bunch of different shows and movies. Again, like we're not talking about like Glenn Close level of acting here, but she's a known quantity. She was on, I think it was Rogan that
It
she
was.
was on.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play this audio because she's talking about the hypocrisy of people on the left and people in Hollywood
Mhm.
and just the ridiculousness of how their actions don't match their words, their rhetoric. Take a listen.
Just started to just be like, hold on, we don't believe in gender, but we need a female president. You're like, huh? And then it's like, my body, my choice. Unless it's a baby that needs a vaccine for hepatitis B, which comes from sex. Like, what do you, right?
And sharing needles.
And sharing needles. And then, we believe in climate change and sea is rising, but we live on the coast. Like, would you buy a house on the beach if you truly believed that the seas,
I think she's spot on with that. And the
Mhm.
biggest one is the climate change people. Like, don't the Obamas own a house near the coast?
Right.
And she's exactly right with that. If you genuinely believed that everything was going to fall into the oceans and the cliffs were going to fall away,
Would you buy property
Exactly.
there?
These
Yeah.
people are the ridiculous, Casey.
Well, I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, think about speech and censorship, right? They're saying free speech is essential, but that's the party of deplatforming
Right.
and cancellations. And, something more recent, like with what happened in Minnesota, this is the party that wanted you to cover your face and mask you up. But now they're complaining that the ICE agents are wearing masks. So it's always whatever fits the mood that they're currently in.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was doing I was asked to be on a podcast yesterday. Gary Snyder, he's a podcaster from northeastern Indiana, and Gary's liberal, but you know me, I have fun with anybody, right?
Mhm.
And so I've known Gary for a while, and I'll actually put the link to it. It just came up after we get off the show here today. I'll put it up at Rob M. Kendall on Twitter, and we were talking about from the Democrat perspective where they're at in Indiana, and it's one of the things I've said on the show quite a bit is the left is doing great damage to the country, not just by their actions, right? The stuff is bad enough. The protesting, the going after police officers, all of that stuff is horrible. But the other issue is they're totally alienating the center people. And there's so many people out there. And I think in this state, it's true as well, where people go, man, I hate how the Republicans are overtaxing us. I hate their spending. I hate the corruption. I hate the utility bills. I hate all of these things. But then they see how the Democrats behave, and it's not just Democrats in Minnesota behaving this way. It's Democrats across the nation, prominent Democrats giving voice and comfort and aid to these people, supporting them. And so the de facto position of the Democrats sort of becomes the anti-ICE position. And people look at that and go, yeah, but I can't do that. So I guess I'll just be overtaxed and
I'm
have my money.
politically homeless.
Yeah, my money abused, right? And they have to keep voting for Republicans. And I said, one of the challenges, especially for Bo Bai, who came out, raised $1 gajillion, almost $2 million, is how do you separate yourself? Bo Bai, son of Evan Bai, former governor and senator, grandson of Birch Bai, former senator. Bo Bai is running for Secretary of State on the Democrat side. And I said, one of the problems he's going to have is while he may be a fine guy and run a normal, mainstream, middle-of-the-road campaign, which he appears to be trying to do, he's got all these
He's
crazy
going to get
people.
lumped in.
Yeah, he's got all these crazy people that he's going to have to answer for. And these ICE protests and everything else in red states like Indiana are just going to keep reinforcing to people, well, Diego may be corrupt and unethical, but at least he's not an anti-ICE person.
Did you see, in regards to the Bo Bai thing and the money that he raised, that he got a contribution from Jeff Smolian?
Former owner of WIBC.
Correct. And then people were saying, oh, well, now WIBC is going to be pulling for Bo Bai.
Yeah.
We are not owned by Jeff Smolian anymore.
saw that.
And we haven't been for years.
The internet is just the worst because people see things and then they start in and there's no rhyme or reason to any of it. I had this it's funny you said this. I had a conversation yesterday with an elected official who someone on the local chatter board had written something about him and he was upset about it. And I said, look, dude, I've told you this before, I'm going to tell you this again. Stop paying attention to the internet. Stop responding to the internet. If you do that, your whole life is just going to be, I must respond to some idiot on a townie chatter board, and you're never going to get anything done. And this is, it's kind of the same thing, right? Where it's like people go, well, WIBC, they're bought and sold by the Biden administration. Look, we hate everyone. And I was talking with Gary on the podcast about this yesterday because he said, how do you do what you do? I said, I hate everybody. We have made fun of Bo Bai before. We've said those videos he did where he's wearing the different sports team.
Right,
and
to try and connect.
Yeah,
I'm a regular person.
He's like some guy out of the Barbie movie. Hey, it's Bo.
Hey.
And to his credit, he's cut a lot of that out. He has gotten the memo on that. But we cheer against all of these people because they know they're all working against us, right? But WIBC is such an anomaly because if you think about the shows, right? And Urban One, by the way, has owned us for 4 years now. You know what they like? They like money. They may not even like our politics. We don't think they do, but they like money, and we make them a lot of money. So they leave us alone. In fact, we're certain they don't like our politics, but they like money, and they leave us alone because we make them a gargantuan amount of money.
So this is a situation where the money is more important than the meaning.
Well, we laugh about this all the time, about the amount of complaints they get about me. They have a literal file on me from people who call and complain. And they're pretty candid with me. They're like, you are a giant pain in our ass, but you do so well for us. We're willing to deal with it. If you ever stop doing so well, we're not going to deal with it anymore.
Right.
WIBC is such an anomaly because every show is different. Tony is far different than us. We are different than Hammer and Nigel. I can't reinforce enough how little our management participates with us, and they just want us to keep sending checks their way.
Do they even know that I came back today?
No, I don't. Has anybody said anything to you? Is anybody like, oh my God, thank God
No, but I haven't been walking around the hall.
Well, but they know you're back. If they were, this is reinforcing.
I don't know, do they?
Nobody listens to us. You've been gone, and
nobody in management.
You were on death's door for like a week and a half. You're back, and not one person has come down here from management and said, "We're so glad you're back." They don't know. We can say anything.
But let's not, because the one time you do, we're going to get a big old fine.
All right. By the way, speaking of things that are not working around here, my template froze, so I had to X out of it. So when we come back, we'll have some. What did I put for 10:30? I'll let you read. I'll let you do some actual work around here today.
Okay. I'll do that during the news.
What does my template say that I had down?
Oh,
for
you
10:30?
want to talk about the Minneapolis City Council?
Oh, yes. There is
and what they're doing.
Yes, an absolute nutbag on the Minneapolis City Council.
And how long this has actually been going on.
Yeah, this woman is actively saying that she will help and hide illegal immigrants, and this is your government in Minnesota.
All right, we'll get to that coming up. You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
And they're still out protesting. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 10:29. Anti-ICE protests are intensifying in Minneapolis following the ICE fatal shooting of 37-year-old Renee Good last week as DHS deploys more agents to that area. Video of the shooting has become a political flashpoint, with some saying it supports the government position that the agent acted in self-defense, while protesters say the footage shows federal agents murdering a woman who did nothing wrong. Border Czar Tom Holman tells Fox's America's Newsroom that ICE agents are there in the Twin Cities for a reason.
We're there because the Biden administration let millions of illegal aliens, criminal aliens into the nation. We're there because we want to arrest these public safety threats that they're releasing to the street.
Holman is also calling on leaders in Minnesota to work with DHS to arrest the alleged criminals. The number dead after a government crackdown protests in Iran is now in the thousands.
Both US-based activists and an Iranian security official have separately told journalists that 2,000 people have died in these nationwide protests. Speaking to Reuters, the Iranian official blamed what he described as terrorists for the deaths. Iranians have spoken of security forces firing into lines of protesters. Some have been able to make phone calls abroad for the first time in days, although a nationwide internet blackout continues. Witnesses describe burned out government buildings and a heavy security presence in central Tehran. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
The Trump administration is imposing sanctions on 3 branches of the Muslim Brotherhood labeled as terrorist organizations. Plus, President Trump is endorsing new proposals to cap credit card interest rates. I'm Jarrett Lewis on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Custom jewelry is not out of reach with PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse. At PA Jewelers, you can customize any piece of jewelry for that special someone. PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse in Brownsburg. Gold, diamonds, gemstones, and of course those watches from Flederman Von Riest, assembled right here in Indiana. Custom designed jewelry with PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse. Custom jewelry made just for you. PA Jewelers, 3750 South Green Street in Brownsburg. 317-456-4010. PAJewelers.jewelry.
Millions of Americans behind on your taxes. If you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Since 1983, over 80,000 customers have trusted their home to B-Window.
We're now employee-owned, and that means we treat your home like it's our own.
From energy-efficient windows that can cut your energy costs by up to 50%. To stylish doors, siding, and custom bathroom models, we have you covered.
And every project is backed by our industry-leading warranty.
Call today or go to bwindow.com and receive up to 60% off plus 24 months, same as cash, with 0% interest.
Because at B-Window,
we mean business. We mean business.
Trust me.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Any heating and air conditioning problem you've got, we can take care of you. 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hey guys, it's Rob for our friend Mark Dietl. You know, the Indianapolis real estate market is strong but not easy. Now is a good time to sell only if you hire a real estate team that knows how to aggressively market your home like Mark Dietl Realty. Maybe you want a fast, guaranteed, no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Troy in Connorsville had to say about working with Mark Dietl. I was a real estate challenge. I wanted to sell my home over market value and buy a home near my favorite hunting area with land and no HOA close to town. Miraculously, the Mark Dietl team did it all. They found the perfect new home at a great price and sold my current home in 10 days for $10K over list price. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietl at 317-755-4232 for all the details or go online to markdietl.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair. This woman from the Minneapolis City County Council is is ridiculous, and we got to play this audio for you. It's the Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's done faking an illness. She's back. It's good to have you again. At what point did they finally figure out that you were gaming the system and demanded that you come back?
They still haven't. I'm still on the grift, Rob.
So this lady, she is the vice president of the Minneapolis City Council. And listen to how not only is she not for enforcing the law, right? She's against ICE. She's against making sure people come into the country legally. She's actively talking about how to help people continue to skirt the law, avoid ICE, remain in this country illegally. Take a listen.
It's not even noon, and ICE has already kidnapped 5 of my neighbors. I responded to one where we believe a whole family was taken with children. There are more federal agents in Minnesota than we have of the St. Paul and Minneapolis police combined. And yet, there are neighbors that are showing up in incredible ways, like standing in front of known targeted businesses, helping escort workers home. Today, I'm kicking off one of our first mutual aid grocery runs in my neighborhood. An easy way for folks to get involved, but it's because the workers have been pulled over time and time again, attempting to make deliveries to families that are too afraid to even go grocery shopping.
So you have, and again, the thing I can't get my head around is the excuse of, well, these people aren't harming anyone. But they broke the law. Even if that's true, I reject the premise that all of these people are just well-intentioned people, right? Even if you accept that premise, though, I'll give it to you. Hey, 90% of these people are just well-intended people. They broke the law coming into this country. They're here illegally. They are using resources that are paid for by us that should be going to legal, law-abiding citizens. There's zero leg to stand on or stand behind someone cheating their way into the country because they're taking a spot that should be going to someone who did things the right way.
Well, and another thing to consider is that these city council members in St. Paul, they swear an oath of office that supports the U.S. Constitution and the Minnesota Constitution before they assume any of their duties. So does that mean nothing now to these elected officials?
The mistake we have made in this country is giving a pass to people who broke the law to come in. We say, well, we can't get rid of all of them. Why not? Why? You cheated to come in. I'm supposed to have sympathy for you now because you've made some life for yourself here breaking our laws? No, I refuse to do that. I'm sorry, I refuse to accept that premise. And I know some people say that's mean or that's heartless or that's whatever. No, I'm not anti-immigrant. I'm anti-illegal immigrant. I'm pro people who want to adapt, who want to assimilate, who want to do things the right way, who want to be a part of this country, who don't want to make America like where they came from. They want to be like us. I'm all for that every day. That's not racist. That's not about the color of someone's skin. It's that I believe America is special. Being an American is special. And I'm for getting rid of every single person who broke the law to come into this country.
Yeah, there are people who say, yes, but they're just trying to look for a better life. Okay, fine. They're going to start it out by breaking the law. If they're truly looking for a better life, do it by obeying the laws. Donald Trump, he posted a message on Truth Social this morning. It was in all capital letters, and he said that a day of reckoning and retribution is coming. And he says that the Minnesota communities are being overrun by murderers and drug dealers and addicts and escaped prisoners and dangerous people. And he said the ICE's goal is to remove all of these people and return them to their countries of origin.
Okay, so let's play you some audio because this Minnesota stuff is on everybody's radar now, but this stuff has been going on for a long time. And our government has been there for the past year trying to deal with this. The Minnesota elected officials try to act like this is some small problem.
Where did this come from?
The illegal immigration deal in Minnesota and the fraud and all of this stuff has been going on. Yes. And so this is from June of last year. This is Byron Donalds. He is a U.S. rep from Florida, and he is going at it with Tim Walz over ICE. Now, think about this. This was 7 months ago, and I had to research when this was because you see it and go, that could be right now. Nothing has changed.
Is it the responsibility of ICE to actually deport illegal aliens in the United States who are here? Isn't that their responsibility?
Yes, it is, Congressman, except that
The Constitution is not an inconvenience. It's not an either or.
Nobody
You
said
can
an
do your
inconvenience.
job and
He have a
practice due
responsibility to deport illegal aliens, and the
Through due
president is
process.
going through that process right now.
We are
And
not
let's be very clear, the previous administration, they abused every process there is under border laws to allow more than 10 million people into the country illegally. And this is a burden on all Americans. And so the president is doing his job. So it is sick to refer to Americans who are ICE agents as Gestapo. Governor, you're wrong. You need to apologize to these agents. They're doing their jobs. They are Americans. They serve this country with honor and decency and respect. Do not diminish their work simply because you tried to make a cheap point that you could tweet. I yield back.
I mean, that could be right now.
Mm-hmm.
They know this is going on in that state, and not only are they not doing anything about it, they're actively working against trying to derail people who are trying to do something about it.
Well, I mean, in the case of Tim Walz, he was just trying to line his own pocketbook, it seems like, for all those years with all of the fraud that had been going on. And you had the mayor of Minneapolis, I believe it was NBC. Yeah, I think he was on with Kristen Welker. She flat out asked him about the fraud there, and he said, yeah, there was fraud happening. They've been in this denial phase so far, but now you've got the mayor coming right out and saying, yeah, it's happening. It needs to be investigated.
Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, flights to Miami,
Mm-hmm.
uber expensive,
Are they?
if you can get one.
Okay.
And then we have an update on when you might be getting those $2,000 tariff checks you're supposed to be getting.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Should I be checking my mailbox?
There's been a bit of a delay.
Oh.
Who could have foreseen that happening?
Really? Okay.
This is coming up next.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show back at it this afternoon. Biggest stories in Indy and rumors of caller roulette.
Life's full of unexpected joys, like problems with water. That's why there's Michaelis, a crew of 24/7 experts who are rescue ready, day or night, one phone call, for a gazillion disasters. Over 3 decades of restoring your home or business to better than new condition. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
Hey guys, it's Rob for We Grow Hair Indie. And, well, what can I say other than I went from hideously gargoylish, awful-looking human to not nearly as hideous or gargoylish or as awful-looking. I mean, the rest of me is still pretty bad, but my hair, it's great. And that's because I called 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Scheduled a totally free, no hassle, no obligation consultation. Went in and saw Darren and the gang, and they gave me some suggestions on how to put more hair on the top of my head. And every time I look in the mirror, 5 years on, it's been 5 years, can't believe it. I'm so glad that I made that choice. Now, you can see how some other folks, you don't have to take my word for it, went to We Grow Hair Indie and got their confidence back. WeGrowHairIndie.com, WeGrowHairIndie.com, 317-522-2995, WeGrowHairIndie.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Lose weight or stop smoking with hypnosis. Guaranteed or your money back. Only $59.99. Destroy unwanted cravings, late night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, or weight gain, or your money back. Hypnosis January 29th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss of 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking at 8. And January 31st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop smoking at 2. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaimed their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu, the daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Join us every Friday right around 5:50 for Beer Sample Friday.
Brought to you by Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus, home of free delivery within 75 miles of their store.
Step into the spotlight with Dancing with the Stars. Catch the live show at Old National Center Wednesday, February 25th. Reserve your seats and tickets today at WIBC.com.
If you're trying to get a flight to Miami to go watch the national championship game, well, good luck getting it.
Yeah.
And you're going to pay an arm and a leg.
Southwest Airlines have added 32 flights
to Miami. And this is really, I mean, it's a totally supply and demand thing, right? Because obviously you have IU with the largest active alumni base in the country. They're never good at football. This is, you know, I mean, obviously, I think a lot of people now think, hey, IU has turned a corner and this may be a yearly thing. But just because you're good doesn't mean every year you're going to be in the national championship game.
Correct.
As Cubs fans or Bears fans have found out, once you get to the Super Bowl or the World Series, you better win the thing because you may not be back.
Yeah.
And so you have unprecedented level of interest in flights to Miami. Only so many opportunities, and the lowest round trip ticket from Indianapolis to Miami was selling for around $968,
yeah,
according to the Indianapolis Star.
Well, it's smart on the airlines. They've all responded. Delta has, Southwest has, Frontier, American, even Spirit Airlines and Allegiant all adding more flights to their schedule. Hey, by the way, I know you've got a thought here.
Yes.
But you must pay attention to this very closely.
Yes.
The game is on Monday, January 19th at 7:30 p.m.
Yes, that's correct.
That's my birthday.
What?
Why don't you do a girl solid? Book me a flight. Go pick up some tickets for me. What a heck of a way for you to celebrate me.
Casey?
By sending me to that game. I'll do some reporting.
I love the Chicago Bears more than life itself. And I haggled for a week over whether I should bet $50 to ensure they beat the Green Bay Packers.
Right.
But that being
this is a little out of your price range.
Yeah. That being said,
okay.
That being said, it does put in perspective what I'm doing with my bets against the Bears, because we were like, I can't believe you would bet $50 on this game, and I said, do you know what it costs to go to one of these games?
Right.
All I got to do is win 4 games with the Bears to win the Super Bowl. I'd be $200 in because I'm never leaving my couch. If somebody asked me, or any person, would you pay $200 for your team to be guaranteed to win the Super Bowl? Of course you would do it. Nothing will guarantee the Bears a trip to the Super Bowl more than me betting on the other team.
Sure.
Because I'm a betting poison. So this is a fraction of what these people are spending on these flights to even go to the game.
Right. So are you saying when it comes to this game that you're going to bet on Miami?
No. I've already
guarantee an IU win?
No. See, this is the thing. I had an early bet on IU, and my IU winnings are going to offset what I'm losing on the Bears.
Okay.
So if IU loses this game, because I got in early and I got in real good, I'm going to be really screwed. I'm going to actually be out this money if IU loses this game. But they're like a 9.5-point favorite now. That's a lot of points.
Is it 9.5 now?
It w-
Because
it-
it was 7.5.
It was 7.5, and then it moved. Hang on here. You filibuster for a second. I'll look this up.
You know, the airlines, they did a similar strategy last year when Notre Dame was playing in Atlanta. And everybody was so surprised this year at
8.5. 8.5.
It's at 8.5?
So there's been some, well, and it probably depends on what app you're using, whatever. But yes,
Uh-huh.
so the money is still moving in favor of IU. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. Everybody was so surprised how many Hoosiers there were in Atlanta for the last game.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course they're going to travel. They're the largest active alumni base in the country.
Mm-hmm.
They have a huge sports interest, right? Baseball, basketball, and the football team's never been, well, at least, not in the modern era, has never been good.
Mm-hmm.
Of course they're going to travel, and they have a lot of wealthy alumni.
Right.
So that makes sense, right?
There's that.
Here's the bet you should, look, Casey, and look, we all want IU to win the game. I'm not disputing that. Miami's getting 8.5 points. It's essentially a home game for Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Miami is probably actively the best team other than IU in the country. So if anybody was going to beat them, it'd be Miami. If you thought that Miami was going to win this game, they're probably going to have a great game from Carson Beck, their quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you can get Carson Beck at 6-1 to be the MVP of the national championship game on offense. That's pretty good odds.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really wanted to get frisky, you can get Miami at plus 280. You could pair those two together, and you could probably do pretty well if you have an app that would allow you to pair Miami at plus 280 to win the national championship and Carson Beck at plus 600 to be the MVP. You could probably clean house. Now, I don't think that's going to happen.
Most people
but
don't subscribe to your theory of betting, where if they bet against the other team, that will force their team to win.
Oh, but most people aren't the betting poison that I am, Casey. And look, that $50, Casey. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. And well, let's take a break. Let's take a break real quick because we're way long on this segment, right? Or no, this is it.
No, we're okay.
This is it for the hour.
Yeah, we're okay.
I've been
Something else you have to consider, though.
Wait. Can I just point something out?
Sure.
I've been carrying this show for 2 weeks now, and I've just gone to the point of exhaustion where I don't even remember what break we're in.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I just want to point that out.
Okay, you've been doing an excellent job.
Glad you're back.
Thank you so much.
What point were you trying to make?
I was trying to make the point, not only do you have to consider the cost of the game ticket and the flight, but then you've got your hotel, obviously your food and beverages, and then you got to take time off for work.
Yes.
All of it worth it. To many people it is. But how are you going to feel if they don't win?
If who doesn't win?
IU.
I gave those people $20,000.
It's a lot of time and money.
I did.
They better win.
Well, but I didn't give them
No
anything.
pressure.
I made a bet,
Uh-huh.
which I've gotten several weeks worth of good out of. If they lose, I'll be disappointed because I'm going to lose the money.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to come back to see what a good thing I'm doing. I'm spending a fraction of what these other people are.
And having as much fun.
And yes, this is the thing I tried to explain to people and they couldn't understand it. I'm going to get 10 times that $50 bet in joy this week of being able to look forward to football on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I have a whole week now to continue to look forward to football because the Bears won that game. Sure. And I'm going to do it again this week against the Rams. I'm going to do the $50 again. I have to because either I'll win money or we'll go to another week and I can't lose with this.
Well, and part of the treat for you is, depending on when you placed your bet, watching the money line move.
Yes,
whether
that's right.
you got in on at the right time
that's
or
right.
not.
Yeah.
You're not going to have an extra $2,000 in your pocket because allegedly the tariff dividend payment of $2,000.
It's coming next week, isn't it?
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
Now Donald Trump is saying that it's going to come towards the end of the year.
Well, Kevin already spent his. What's
Did
Kevin
he?
supposed to do?
I don't know. He shouldn't have spent
Look,
that
you're never
money.
getting the money. Just give it up. That
Mhm.
money's not showing up. And this is how it starts, right? It's going to go to this. You're going to get it then. Well, maybe it'll be then. Well, it'll probably be this time. Nobody is getting that money. They're going to use it as a midterm talking tool. That's
Mhm.
all it's ever been. Our country is $38 trillion in debt. This money is a tax increase on us. That's what it is. That's what a tariff is. And you're never going to see any of it. You're never going to see a dime of it. We've said this for an entire year now on this show. And eventually maybe people will start to believe us because have you seen any of it?
No. I have not. But do you think now they've been saying all along that the money's going to go towards working families who are of moderate to middle incomes, and the Treasury Secretary has said that they're going to have income limits, that those would apply as your government picks winners and losers. But do you think it's because they're trying to work out the details, the fine print of who gets the money?
No, they're not going to give anybody any money. It is a campaign issue. That's what he's doing. He's going to go out and say, if you vote for the Republicans, we will give you $2,000. That's all it's ever been. And people were screaming at me last year about this, and you don't know anything. And have you seen your $2,000?
No.
Is there any plan put forward right now to give you $2,000?
They're saying that it could come towards the end of this year.
Well, what's in November, Casey? What's going on in November of this year? It's called an election.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he's doing.
That's why it will be coming towards the end of this year.
So obvious, and it's been so obvious, and all you're doing is paying more taxes, and they're going to spend it on government stuff. They're not going to pay down the debt. Now, they may give it away to some special interest people who write big checks, like the farmers, the mega farmers. The mega farmers may get some of this money. I don't doubt that for a second. But in terms of regular people getting this money, in terms of people who are paying more in taxes, which are what tariffs are to have these goods brought into the country, you're not going to, like, you just might as well fold that up and chalk one up to Rob being right, because you've been told for a year you're going to see it. You haven't seen it. It's not going to happen. All right. We got to take a break. When we come back, producer Jason's going to come back in with us. Jason Dozier, former producer for Tony Katz's Midday Show.
Yeah.
We sent him down to Du Bois County last week to interview people on how this proposed multi-billion-dollar mid-states corridor project is affecting them, whether they support it, whether they think it will do any good for Hoosiers. They're not happy with the governor.
All right, we're going to hear what he discovered coming up. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hammer and Nigel here. Bill Demery would like to give you a 20% upfront bonus when you invest your money. Not only do you get a 20% bonus, you're also going to get an annual return that's averaged nearly 10% for the past decade. Discover how you could get an upfront 20% bonus plus an additional return that's averaged nearly 10% for the past 10 years.
Bill Demery explains things in a way that's easy to understand. Because let's be honest, the world of retirement and finance, it can be pretty complicated. But not when you work with the best. Bill Demery, your retirement guy. Contact him right now, 317-805-4716. Ask about the upfront 20% bonus on your money. Upfront, 317-805-4716, or visit yourretirementguy.com. That's yourretirementguy.com.
Neighborhoods are popping up everywhere, but if you want something different than what you're currently seeing, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, can build you a unique, custom home on your own private lot or anywhere you can bring your own builder. They've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana. Visit Joyner Homes Model Homes or go to joynerhomes.com to see floor plans and pricing and more. With Joyner Homes, you can even start from scratch if you want. Check out their 5-star Google reviews and visit joynerhomes.com.
What say we start that new year with a new car at Tom Roush Lincoln? Hurry in for the 8-9-10 deal. Get $8,000 off new Nautilus or $9,000 off new Corsair. Or how about $10,000 off Lincoln Aviator? The 8-9-10 deal right now at Tom Roush Lincoln. Come get a great deal on all three from Tom Roush, where our family served yours since 1972.
Corsair stock number L25566, MSRP 55340. Nautilus stock number L26030, MSRP 62705. Aviator stock number L25384, MSRP 79450. See dealer for complete offer details.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Find the path to recovery that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Dugan Air Heating and Cooling Mitsubishi Electric Studios, where a raid went down at an Indianapolis home early this morning. who the coroner has identified as the victim in a crash where a car ended up in a retention pond. And will Notre Dame head football coach Marcus Freeman face any charges for an incident earlier this month? You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
Should transgender athletes be allowed to play in girls and women's sports? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The Supreme Court's considering that.
If women don't have their own competitions, they won't be able to compete.
Alan Michael Hurst is the attorney arguing Idaho's challenge to lower courts striking down a state law, telling justices in arguments this morning biological males have unfair advantages.
Like size, muscle mass, bone mass, and heart and lung capacity. Tragically, but not surprisingly, male athletes have even injured female athletes in many sports.
A similar West Virginia law also part of today's hearing. Fox's Alexandria Hoff outside the Supreme Court.
Trans-identified student athletes feel they were unfairly banned from the sport that aligns with their gender identity. And Idaho and West Virginia are among nearly 30 states with laws that stop biological men from taking part in girls' sports in public school and colleges.
President Trump's telling protesters in Iran to take over institutions. Writing on Truth Social, help is on its way as he considers military action over the crackdown that a human rights group says has killed 2,000 people.
The internet blackout in Iran continues, making it difficult for people to get new information, although international calls were briefly going through overnight.
And Fox's Trey Yingst reports one person told Fox on the phone
the government has really repressed them using weapons of war against the demonstrators.
President Trump has also just left the White House. He's headed to Detroit, where he'll focus on the economy and tout low inflation after this morning's report showing no change in the annual rate of increase of consumer prices last month from November, still 2.7%. The president's urging the Federal Reserve Chairman to cut interest rates now as the Justice Department investigates Jerome Powell over Fed building renovations. The president just told reporters
he's billions of dollars over budget, so he either is incompetent or he's crooked. I don't know what he is, but he certainly doesn't do a very good job.
The president will tour a Ford manufacturing plant in Michigan and then give a speech on the economy in Detroit. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Hearing a helicopter over their head. All clear on your radar. Now up to 42 in the Circle City. Partly cloudy skies. We're getting closer to that high of 50. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Sometime around 5 this morning, police lights and that helicopter could be seen and heard in an area near Washington Park on Indy's near northeast side. Federal agents and local and state authorities involved in a raid at a home in the 3300 block of North Tacoma Avenue. This man says he never expected something like this to happen in his neighborhood.
This neighborhood is pretty quiet for the most part, particularly on this block. It's a lot of seniors that live here. Never anything like this.
And multiple people have been confirmed to be taken into custody. More information about this incident is expected as the day goes on. A 28-year-old man is identified as the one who died in a retention pond after crashing his car into it with his 2 children also inside.
Info from police, there's an officer on scene. 2 juveniles were in a pond. One of them's out. The other one still seems to be seen in the water with his father as well.
4 Indianapolis police officers went into the freezing water to rescue the 8 and 9-year-old. Police say the car left the road just after midnight and are now investigating what led up to that. Marion County Sheriff John Forrestal is implementing a new policy that limits how long ICE detainees can be held in custody at the Adult Detention Center. This comes after overcrowding, which has also contributed to budget problems.
I need to be a steward of the money and be sure to tell them I'm going to be starting into whole every day that I'm beyond that 2,400.
The sheriff's office recently exceeded its inmate capacity with around 175 people in the jail that should instead be in state prison facilities. Forrestal also told Wish TV that the overcrowding issue is costing them around $3 to $5 million per year. Prosecutors in St. Joseph County say there will be no charges filed against Notre Dame head football coach Marcus Freeman in connection with a battery allegation at a high school wrestling meet earlier this month. Officials say video evidence reviewed in the case does not support claims that Freeman pushed an assistant wrestling coach during the event on January 3rd. The university says the matter is closed. Freeman was at the event for his son in support of him. And the Indiana Pacers picking up their 3rd straight win after they beat the Boston Celtics last night, 98-96. Pacers big man Jay Huff says their recent losing streak gave them a perspective.
Yeah, I think we had to learn a lot from those games, learn how to win close ones. I think winning that Charlotte game was big for us, just for our confidence in those moments. Same with this one. And I think just knowing that we can win those, I think is huge.
The Pacers will host the Toronto Raptors tomorrow night. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799. 800-598-4799. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
The governor's approval ratings are in the toilet in his home county. You know, they know him best, perhaps. We want to find out why. It's the Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Back with us, producer Jason Dozier, formerly the Tony Katz Midday Show, producer for the Tony Katz Midday Show. And, of course, we've been talking about this the last several days. We sent him down to Du Bois County after this poll came out that showed Mike Braun had a disapproval rating of 62% in his home county. It turns out much of the hatred from the locals down there centers around his support for this Mid-States Corridor project, which would connect I-64 to I-69, a multi-billion-dollar project that will cost all of us taxpayers a lot of money. And Jason, I think the thing of it is, it's two things. One, there isn't a perceived benefit to the taxpayers, especially the folks down there. And two, they're pissed off because they think Braun and his distribution business is going to make money off of it.
Well, that, and more importantly, I think they're upset that they're just being pushed around. 165 people were taken to court over this. 165 residents, landowners, farmers, the people that we look up to were taken to court by the state of Indiana, and we'll probably get to that tomorrow. But yesterday you talked about the gentleman that could potentially lose his farm. He's had in the family for 175 years. But I also wanted to get a good, broad, general idea of the different types of residents down there. So I talked to a lady that we talked about losing your farm, losing your home. Here's a lady that is talking about losing a small business.
Beth Morris, and I live in Hayesville, right off 231.
So are you for or against the Mid-States Corridor?
I'm against. I'm here helping my friends that have businesses in Hayesville, and, you know, we don't want this for the simple fact it's going to take away our business. She's right on 231, and she's not going to have the business because they're going to go right by her.
What is your understanding of the reason then that they're pushing for the Mid-States Corridor?
Mainly to the traffic, the flow, like 3 minutes, I believe, is what they say. That's all they're saving. It's mainly just so for these truckers to get their goods back and forth.
Do you see any positive at all if the road were put through here?
No, we love progress. We want to see more progress, but they're taking away progress by taking away our businesses in between.
And did you vote for Mike Braun for governor?
Hell no.
Has he come down to Jasper or Du Bois County, as far as you know, and explained why he wants this? Or have they even sent folks down to explain it? Or is he just strong-arming or assuming that what he wants is what the folks in Jasper would want?
Supposedly he's brought somebody down, but I've never seen him. I mean, and all his little buddies that he's got in here, his little soldiers, they're asked a question, hey, do you believe this? Are you against this or for this? They close their eyes and act like, I don't want to comment, I can't comment on that.
If Mike Braun walked into this meeting tonight, what question would you have for him? Or would it be a question or a statement?
I'd probably kick his ass.
Well, and I think this is by the way, it's the Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Producer Jason's with us. He went down to Du Bois County to ask residents down there why they're so upset about this Mid-States Corridor project that led to the governor having an abysmal approval rating in his home county on that poll that came out. These people are not, I think this is the thing, Jason, these people are not screwing around. Like, they are genuinely, whether it's a farm or a business. These people are genuinely fearful about this completely disrupting and upending their way of life.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, it's not just Jasper. It's not just Du Bois County. That's about $1.2 billion of the budget. They still would have to go through Martin County, through Davies County. You're talking about $3 to $4 billion, countless businesses, countless farms. Everybody keeps talking about we want the independent farmers out there, and the state is trying to get rid of them with this expressway.
And so, again, we're playing some of these clips of these people that you talk to just to give our audience the real world perspective. Because, look, we've failed in Indianapolis, the media, myself included, up until recently, to cover this, to understand the magnitude of it. It's a massive deal. And so these interviews are just great to understand where your tax dollars are basically being wasted. I mean, the people down there view this as a waste. And I come back to that hearing the other day with transportation in the House, where Jim Pressel, Republican head of the House, asked NDOT, what are we doing here? I don't see the value in this project. And we've got all these hundreds of projects that are being canceled so this one can go forward. Who else do we hear from?
We hear from Maggie Marystone, which is an interesting story because Maggie and her husband moved down from Chicago, where she was involved in politics, to get away from politics, to get away from congestion, to buy what they called their forever home in the middle of nowhere, so they would not have to worry about expansion and things like that. And sure enough, she's the one I keep referring to when I say they're going to run the interstate through her front yard, and she is not, despite what the song says, happy about it.
Mary Stone. I moved here in 2023 with my husband, Brad Hoaksong, who is a hometown boy. I lured him to Chicago, where we lived together when we got married. And a couple of years ago, we decided that we'd come back to Jasper and slow down. And we bought what we thought was going to be our forever home. And it turned out it was in the path of the proposed Mid-States Corridor.
So you went from the politics of Chicago to the politics of Jasper, Indiana. And do you see much difference in it?
That's a funny question. I worked in politics in Chicago, and I thought that those days were going to be behind me. But it turns out that the saying is true. All politics is local, and there's always an issue that requires the attention of the people in your town, and this one is no exception.
From an outside perspective, you look at it like you made an investment in a home and property. The state wants to come take that property, take that home. They're going to pay you for it. Odds are you're going to make, you're going to make a profit off that.
You know, it's interesting that you frame it that way, because it's true. We are unlike a lot of other people in this room. We don't have a multi-generational farm. We don't have ancestral ties to the home that we bought. And truth be told, if I was convinced that the road was good for the people of Du Bois County and the city of Jasper, then I would reluctantly give up my home. But as we delved into the topic further, we determined that there are all kinds of reasons to be opposed to this road. I don't care if they take my home or not. This road is a bad idea for the people who live here. It's a bad idea for the people in Indiana as a whole. We all pay taxes that would pay for this road, and I don't think $1 billion is a good. I don't think this is a good investment for those $1 billion.
You know, she's fascinating to me. By the way, it's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. Producer Jason is here. He went down to Du Bois County to talk to these people that are being impacted by this very expensive multi-billion-dollar Mid-States Corridor project, wildly unpopular down there. She's interesting to me because you can't paint her as just some townie who doesn't want progress. She moved down there recently, and she's pissed off about it, too.
And she knew her stuff. She was very articulate. She knew what she was talking about. We talked off the air, and it was just so surreal and very interesting to see such a melting pot of folks in this little town. And again, they were all there for one cause, which was, of course, very interesting.
All right, we got time for one more here. Somebody you talk to. Who are we going to hear from?
Okay, this is Mary Allen. She serves as the at-large city councilor in Evansville. She's running against, I believe, Mark Mesmer. In the 8th district.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Mesmer.
Okay.
And Mesmer along with it. So Mesmer and Braun are interesting because they created legislation. Mesmer and Braun did. Mesmer was in the state Senate. Braun was in the state house after he got elected to the state house, that really kind of helped kickstart this whole thing. So Mesmer and Braun are sort of tied into this Mid-States Corridor together.
Right. And what she's talking about here is, as you were talking about earlier, the folks in the state, all the politicians in the state of Indiana should be concerned about this road, because why is this road going to get $3 or $4 billion when they're cutting other roads, potholes, things like that need to be filled? So that's her comment here.
Connection to Jasper and Du Bois County.
Okay. I'm Mary Allen. I am the Democrat candidate for the 8th District congressional seat.
And why are you here tonight in a room full of Republicans?
Well, because hopefully they'll be my constituents, and I wanted to listen and learn. And when I announced my candidacy, I had several people reaching out to say, hey, what's your opinion on this mid-state corridor? And to be really honest, I said, I don't know. Educate me. I don't know enough to have an informed opinion. And then since then, saw the poll. It was really eye-opening, interesting. And then since had seen some articles talking about how NDOT is canceling over 300 road bridge projects throughout the state due to budget constraints, but yet this project still seems to be underway. So very curious. Right now, probably more questions than answers. And as a local politician, I'm an at-large city councilor in Evansville. As a local politician, I'm kind of looking at it through that lens as well to think, what do the local officials think up here? Because budgetarily, I think that they're going to be responsible, from what I'm learning, is about 10% of that funding, which is still millions of dollars. And so I'm wondering, where is that coming from locally? What's that going to take away from their local budget? And then I believe they will be responsible for the upkeep and of maintaining 231 themselves. And so what does that look like budgetarily as well for the local towns and counties?
You got a big round of applause tonight when you were introduced. How many times have you been into a meeting that with both Republicans and Democrats, everybody seemingly on the same page?
Right. That's really exciting. This is probably the first time that's happened.
And we'll thank Governor Braun for that.
Yes.
All right, so that's going to do it for us today on this. But producer Jason, you're going to come back with us tomorrow, because there's a new villain that emerges in tomorrow's episode of the Mid-States Corridor pissing everyone off. It's an old friend of this show, Jason.
Right. Well,
Todd Rokita.
Yeah, your buddy. 165 people taken to court by Todd Rokita. And that's a juicy story. We're going to talk about that tomorrow.
All right, we'll do it tomorrow. Jason will be back with us. More on the way next. Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Say it out loud. Indiana. National Championship.
This day belongs to the #1 Indiana Hoosiers.
2 seasons ago, rock bottom. Today, one game away from the title.
Indiana scores again.
IU versus Miami. Hoosier history happens here. Coverage begins Monday at 6:30 on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel here for Premier Weight Loss Indy, PWLindy.com, 2 different locations. And look, everybody is somewhere different in their health journey. People aren't the same, and treatments should not be the same. This is why I love Premier Weight Loss Indy. It's an in-person visit. You're going to get a consultation with a professional, and they will customize a plan specifically for you. Again, no plans are the same because people are not the same. So if you really want to take your health to the next level this year, start by going online to PWLindy.com. I lost a bunch of weight of my own, but then I hit a plateau and I couldn't lose anymore. I reached out for help. Premier Weight Loss Indy jumped in the mix, and now I'm down 16 additional pounds in 2 months. PWLindy.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. Take care of your health.
Pat Sullivan here, ringing in the new year with peace of mind, knowing my friends at Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling are the only ones I have to call for all my home service needs. Hope rolled into 2026 with a shocking bang, adding electrical to their list of services, and now they're my one-stop shop for any home service issue that may arise. So if any plumbing, HVAC, or electrical problem happens in your home, call who I call, my friends at Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
This hour powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard Air dealer. Nobody cares for you like family.
So Mark Kelly is suing Pete Hegseth.
Is he suing Pete Hegseth or is he suing the Pentagon?
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, but they're saying he's suing Pete Hegseth because he basically controls the Pentagon, right?
Yeah.
So what I mean by this is Mark Kelly is a senator from Arizona.
Mhm.
He was famous before he was a senator. He was an astronaut, and he was the husband of Gabby Giffords.
Mhm.
Gabby Giffords was the U.S. rep who was shot, and then she and Mark Kelly became huge gun control advocates, right? He then runs for the Senate. He wins,
Mhm.
and he's, at least by Democrat standards, struck a more moderate tone as a senator. He's found consensus on a lot of things some other Democrats might not do. But he made headlines late last year, in which he and other Democrats appeared to tell troops essentially to defy orders of Donald Trump they didn't like or agree with.
Correct. Yeah. He said, if you don't believe that this order is lawful, you don't have to do it.
Which is insane. And you come from a military family, so you will know this.
Right.
The commander-in-chief is just that, the commander-in-chief.
Yeah.
If something is illegal or whatever, if the commander-in-chief tells you to do it, that's for somebody else to figure out.
Mhm.
You do what you're told. The fastest way to get somebody killed is have a bunch of people out there in the field of battle.
Not obeying orders.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so Pete Hegseth and the U.S. military then moved to demote Mark Kelly. There are people who want Mark Kelly prosecuted for this. Now, he tried to come out later, as did these other Democrats, and go, well, we weren't saying defy an order Trump gives. We're just saying if there was an illegal order. And people are like,
yeah, there's a chain of command that you go through.
So
to report that if you think that's the case.
He's filing a lawsuit over the attempt to demote him, and here's what he had to say.
I didn't expect that I would ever find myself here as a U.S. Senator having filed a lawsuit against a Secretary of Defense. Pete Hegseth is now coming after what I earned through my 25 years of military service in violation of my rights as an American and as a retired veteran and as a United States Senator whose job it is to hold this and any administration accountable. He doesn't like what I said, and so he is trying to censure and demote me. And let's talk for just a second about what it is that I said that he decided to censure me over, according to his letter. First, that I simply restated the law that service members must refuse illegal orders. Somehow, restating the law is now against the law, according to Pete Hegseth.
No, everybody knows what you were doing. Because how many times did you state the law along with a bunch of other elected Democrats in a highly produced video when Joe Biden was president?
Well, and not only that, but he always likes to remind everybody about his service. So he's weaponizing his own resume to undermine the chain of command.
Well, he's smartest guy in every room guy. He's the guy that wants you to know he's above. And we all have friends like this, right? You all have that friend who's actually liberal, who won't admit they're liberal, and they try to tell you how moderate they are. But then on every topic, they want you to know how smart they are about it. And almost every single time, their smartness is some liberal position. Well, I'm not a liberal, but, and then every position they have is liberal. but they want you to know how much they've thought it through, right? How much they've tried to strike some middle ground, how they've really researched everything. And you're going to want to listen to them because they're the smartest guy. That's who he is. We all have that person. I wouldn't call them friends, but somebody in our orbit who is Mark Kelly, and they're as obnoxious as hell.
So his lawsuit says that they're punishing him, and that is a violation of the First Amendment.
Well, he's lucky they don't prosecute him, because you could make a case that if it's determined that they're telling soldiers to defy orders of the commander-in-chief, that's treason. You're telling them to work against their
Especially as
country.
an office holder.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so he's lucky they're just demoting him because everybody knows what he's doing. It's not like every year he comes out with some New Year's Day message to the troops. Now, remember, you don't have to abide by illegal orders. He certainly never said it when Biden was president, and everybody knows what he's doing. Another thing that is starting to get more traction, Casey, and I know you've been down, so I don't know if you've been keeping up on this, but there's an uprising going on in Iran, and obviously there have been various uprisings for years in which the people there have said, "Look, we're tired of living under you psychopaths who won't let us do anything or have any sort of enjoyment of life whatsoever, and we're done with it." And there have been stops and starts to these over the years. There is a new start. It is gaining traction. It is somewhat hard to get verifiable information out of what goes on in Iran because, much like in North Korea, they put their boot on everything and everyone.
Right. Let's just turn the internet off so there can't be any free flow of information.
Right. Now, Trump has given some aid to this or some momentum behind this, basically saying that if these protesters are killed, to which there are believed to be reports that hundreds of them have now been killed, that he would consider sending in the U.S. military to do something about it. And it is believed that has fueled more protests in Iran. And again, you're going on bits and pieces. You're going on information that has come out from, supposed eyewitnesses, people on the ground, et cetera, because you can't, like I said, you can't get direct information through a free press. But here's Carolyn Levitt, and they were asking her, like, what is Trump's plan now since he's sort of thrown that out there? And clearly these people are still getting killed, at least allegedly. And she said, who knows what Trump will do next?
What I will tell you is that what the Iranian regime is saying publicly is quite different from the messages they are sending to the United States and the Trump administration privately. President Trump, as for him, he has always expressed that diplomacy is the first option, always has been, always will be. However, he is unafraid to use the lethal force and might of the United States military if and when he deems that necessary. And nobody knows that better than the Iranian regime. The greatest leverage the regime had just several months ago was their nuclear program, which President Trump and the United States military totally obliterated through Operation Midnight Hammer. And so what President Trump will do next, only he knows, so the world will have to keep waiting and guessing, and we will let him decide. I'm certainly not going to broadcast any future options or decisions from the president on national television.
So just a few hours ago, Trump tweeted out, help is on the way, and he urged people in Iran to keep protesting and take over their institutions. He said, save the names of the killers and abusers. They will pay a big price. He's canceled all meetings with Iranian officials. And then you had the German chancellor who came out and said that it appears the regime is in their final days and weeks, and it's looking more and more like possibly America will get involved.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, Bill Maher is mocking his celebrity friends who wore the pins at the Golden Globe. That's pretty funny. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. talking about lowering health care costs. And then this Washington state senator refuses to admit that there are biological differences between men and women. We got some great audio on the way for you next.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
It's time. You've been putting off that kitchen or bath remodel long enough. What are you waiting for? Get started today with Boer Remodeling. Boer Remodeling customer Kathy had a bath remodel with Boer. Kathy, talk a little bit about your experience.
Our experience with Boer has been terrific. The process was so easy and seamless. When we decided to do a larger remodel of our first floor, Boer was the first company we thought of hiring.
And were you happy with the results?
The results are amazing, and we are so happy with our home and the work that Boer did.
Peter is another recent Boer Remodeling customer with a new kitchen. Peter, what was the best part about working with Boer?
We especially liked the
active participation that we were able to have in selection of stone for the countertops really came out beautiful. The cabinets also came out very, very well.
The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. They'll guide you through the entire process. Start with a free consultation. Talk to Boer Remodeling today. That's BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com.
Gain insight on how to prepare for a secure retirement.
In our younger years, we want as much growth and accumulation as we can muster.
Take advantage of a free discovery call, 877-524-2677, 877-524-2677.
It's important for you to understand what that's going to look like later on.
And tune in to the Absolute Retirement Planning Show with Will Gonzalez, Sundays at 9 a.m. right here on 93 WIBC.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaimed their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
Lose weight or stop smoking with hypnosis, guaranteed or your money back. Only $59.99. Destroy unwanted cravings, late night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, or weight gain, or your money back. Hypnosis January 29th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss at 5:30 p.m., stop smoking at 8. And January 31st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m., stop smoking at 2. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year? Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy. IT? Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI. That's what I did. Really? How? Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up. Sweet. Are classes online or on campus? Both. Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
We have the best technicians in the business here at Family. They'll take care of you every time. 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Unmarked cars in a nearby neighborhood. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Federal agents raiding a home on Indy's near northeast side around 5 this morning. Some people living in the area near Washington Park say they were woken up by police lights and a helicopter.
It wasn't real clear to me because of all the bright lights that they had going on. Definitely some interruption over there.
Multiple people were seen in handcuffs. It's still unknown why they were arrested. A man is dead after his car ended up in a retention pond. That happened just after midnight on Indy's northeast side. His 2 children were rescued by Indy police and fire crews. The Marion County Sheriff's Office says they will no longer hold ICE detainees at their jail for more than 48 hours. And the Indiana Pacers are winners of 3 straight games. After beating the Celtics last night 98-96 at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, they're back home tomorrow to play the Toronto Raptors. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Quills scratched in a Boston chamber as 8 black Bostonians signed their names. In a city that preached liberty, they dared to petition for their own.
WIBC celebrates the spirit of 76. Brought to you by Tony Katz presents Trump 1 year later.
January 13th, 1777. Prince Hall and 7 other black men petitioned the Massachusetts legislature, declaring that they shared in common with all men a right to freedom. Their appeal echoed the Declaration's promise. However, it did not free blacks that day, but it sparked a reckoning that would soon make slavery incompatible with Massachusetts' Constitution.
The spirit of 76. History remembered. Freedom celebrated. Sponsored by Trump. 1 year later, an evening of insight, conversation, and bourbon with Tony Katz. Tickets available at WIBC.com.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat.
Bill Maher is laughing at his Hollywood friends.
Mm-hmm.
And, by the way, it's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob Casey's back today. One of the things I appreciate about Maher is, and I've always said nobody should have any sympathy for Maher because he helped create the monster.
Right.
So when Dr. Frankenstein saw the monster get out of control, right, you put it together. Maher, in the era of Trump in the first term, emboldened all these lunatic people who he knew were mentally not all there and ginned them all up. Well, then it got totally out of control, especially with the Me Too stuff. And he's like, well, I'm a 60-year-old white guy who cracks jokes at everyone. They're probably coming for me next. And he tried to pivot and go, whoa, you people are taking it way too far.
So he's like Homer Simpson now backing
Yes.
into the field.
Yeah.
Because
he knows what's going on.
Shrubs.
He's a liberal, but he knows a lot of these people are completely insane and completely ridiculous. And to his credit, he will point it out. I think a lot of it's done out of sort of self-survival rather than, some altruistic cause. But so at the Golden Globes, these award shows are so irrelevant now. I didn't even know the Golden Globes happened.
I didn't know they were on either.
Until I heard about these pins, I didn't even know they were going on. But these people are so invested in themselves, and they think they're so important, and they think it's like still 1985 and people give a damn about them, that they wore these pins that said "Be Good" on them. And this was in support of this lunatic woman who tried to run the ice guy over with the car and got shot.
Correct. Yeah, they were a tribute to her. And he said it was a terrible thing, but wearing a pin was unnecessary.
Yeah, listen. So here's the audio of Mari gets asked on the red carpet about the pins.
Mark Ruffalo and Wanda Sykes also wearing a Be Good pin for Renee Good, obviously, and trying to use this platform for activism. Do you feel that's effective or no?
Oh, come on. We're just here for show business today. It was a terrible thing that happened, and it shouldn't have happened. And if they didn't act like such thugs, it wouldn't have had to happen. But I don't need to wear a pin about it.
Yeah, now you notice he can't see, and this is where he feeds the beast, but then acts like he's above the beast.
He gives his opinion,
right?
But says, but that's where I draw the line.
Right. He makes all these inflammatory statements about ICE, right? And the federal officials trying to police the immigrants.
Thugs.
But then, look at these guys with me. They're so ridiculous. But because I'm not wearing a pin, I'm not ridiculous.
Right. I don't have to wear a pin and show it off. There seems to be, though, some growing tension between some of the political activists and the celebrities. You had the host, what was her name? Wanda Sykes.
Yes.
She said
who has not been funny in 20 years.
Right. She said she liked what Bill Maher was doing, but that was enough. And now he needs to, because he didn't get on board with her. She was wearing the pin. It just reminds me of that Seinfeld episode. Who does not want to wear the ribbon?
Well, and it should be a lesson to people that no matter how much you placate these people,
it's not enough.
It's never going to be enough.
Yeah.
You can give them everything they ask for, and they're going to want more. It's never ever enough.
So in their mind, he said the right thing, but he didn't wear the ribbon.
Absolutely.
Or the button. It's the new changing your profile pic to whatever flag.
Right. Okay. Some audio here from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Actually, I had this on yesterday's template, but just didn't get to it. And they were talking about, I can't remember what show he was on. I think maybe it was Fox. I can't remember. Anyway, he was asked.
It was Fox.
Yeah. Okay. It was Fox. And he was talking about healthcare costs in the United States. Of course, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he is the HHS secretary. And I know you take issue a little bit with this, and so do I, because it's great to identify
Probably for different reasons.
Well, but it's great to identify, from my perspective, it's great to identify a solution. However, your solution has to be reasonable. And because of the way government has made everything unaffordable, I'm not sure the solution is reasonable. Take a listen.
You know, we're spending $5 trillion annually on health. We spend 3 times per capita what European countries do. And we have the worst health outcomes, and it's mainly driven by food. About 40 cents in every taxpayer dollar now goes to food-induced chronic diseases. So the only way that we're going to lower healthcare costs in this country is by helping Americans to change their diet and eat healthy food, and this is the first major step.
Okay, the problem from me, and I know you got your own issue with this too, healthy food is super expensive.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like just steaks or something like that. I'm talking about fish, the salmon, good chicken, like all of this stuff that he's saying, oh, you should just eat that. Well, okay, if we come from a gajillionaire legacy family like you, you're probably not worried about the cost of things. The cost of fruit is super expensive. Like it is. By the way, for some reason, though, bananas are not. I can't figure that out, why bananas have not, like, super elevated in price. But a lot of fruit, especially if you don't have time to cut it up yourself, if it's the package, like, it is, like, dude, we don't all have servants around us like you. We don't all have a gajillion dollars like you. You want people to start eating healthy. People eat like crap a lot of times. One, because they don't have time because they're with their work and then their kids and everything else. But two, they don't have the money to be able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the food companies should make it so easy. Convenience, you're trading that off for a healthier choice. But my issue isn't so much the cost with it. It's you've got to get the GMOs out of the food and get back to all of the heirloom seeds. And if you want to eat healthy, okay, you're talking about lean proteins, right? With good chicken and seafood. You want to get your omega-3s. Okay, so what are you talking about? You're talking about eating antibiotic-fed chicken. You're talking about high mercury fish. Are we talking about fruits and vegetables? Okay, but first wash it off to get the pesticides off of it with your fluoride-induced water. And why is it that obesity is an American issue? There are so many people who are gluten intolerant, but they can buy Russian flour and they don't have a problem. How come something like Crohn's disease doesn't even exist in Europe? They don't have these issues. It is our food. Yeah, we have to make better choices, but it's so much deeper than just the food pyramid. It's how our food is agged.
Speaking of food, I'm getting ready to go to my home away from home, the Brownsburg Arby's.
Right.
I will be there from 12:30 to 1:30
You're going to have
today.
some processed seed,
Look,
oils there.
Here's how loved I am at the. By the way, I will be there from 12:30 to 1:30 today. I'm leaving as soon as we get done with the show. And if you live in the Brownsburg town limits, come to the Brownsburg Arby's. You can sign the city status form. We have a campaign going, Casey. I don't know if you know about this. It's the Free Glenn Adams campaign. Glenn Adams is the member of the Brownsburg Town Council who they turned off his key to town hall. He can't get in the town hall now because he did an interview in the town hall about the city status ballot petition.
Who did he do the interview? Was the interview with you?
No, Wish TV, our news gathering partners. They got mad. The town council got mad because we're doing very well. We're getting all these signatures, and they got mad. And there's nothing they can do to me because I don't work for the town and I'm not an elected person. And so when they look at Glenn, they see me. So they just turned off his key.
So he can't get in?
No. Now, a couple months ago, our old pal Travis Tashane, you remember him, Lord Travis, the high ruler of the town, he did an interview in the town hall, and that about the pool, where he said there was going to be a referendum potentially for the pool. The council said that's crazy. We're not doing that. But that was apparently okay. I filed a public records request for that information yesterday, by the way. Now, Travis is the one with the protective order against him that is still active by the state website. And he's allowed to come and go in town hall whenever he wants. But our buddy Glenn, we have started the Free Councilman Glenn Adams campaign to get these signatures for the city status. And so I will be at the Arby's from 12:30 to 1:30. If you want to stop by, shoot the breeze, you can hang out. You stay for 2 minutes, you stay for 10 minutes. However you want, I'll be there 12:30 to 1:30.
He's an elected official.
They locked him out.
And they locked him out.
I know he needs to sue them because I filed the public record because they tried to say, oh, there's this ordinance, blah, blah, blah. They can't produce any of it because you'll find Amelia Earhart's remains before you'll find any of these ordinances or anything else close to this. They're mad at him. They're pissed off because people are pissed off at the town government. They're signing our petition left and right. People are very excited about it. And so they're like, well, we'll just lock him out. It'll be fine. We can't stand the fact that there's a tension because people don't like the way we're doing it. So anyway, all point that is said, Arby's, look, I think Arby's food is a little bit better than McDonald's. Maybe I've just made that up, but I do think it's a little bit better than McDonald's.
I think you're talking about a clear case of somebody lacking or not wanting accountability.
Well, that's right.
Yeah. Or transparency.
That's why I'll be at the Arby's from 12:30 to 1:30.
Okay.
Anyway, real quick before I go to break, I had this one other clip, and I was hoping you'd come back today because I knew this would fire you up. So this is there was the Washington state government, the big players in the Washington state government.
Yeah.
They had a media availability. Our House and Senate leaders do this too, and this Washington state senator gets asked if there's a biological difference between men and women. And the left has become so insane that this guy refuses to admit that there is an actual biological difference between men and women.
Senator Peterson, you said at the beginning that one of the key priorities for Senate Democrats would be to make sure science is respected. Can you acknowledge that there are biological differences between men and women that would give boys a physical advantage over girls in athletics?
No, I don't think I could say that definitively. First of all, I'm not I don't have the scientific expertise to be able to weigh in on that. Based on what I know, many of the kids who participate in athletics who are transgender are taking puberty blockers, are taking hormones that probably change the scientific balance about competitiveness. So I don't have the tools or the training to be able to weigh in and offer a scientific conclusion about that. But I think that there is some reason to be skeptical of that claim. Thank you.
Would you be willing to make that a requirement?
We need to move on. Sorry,
participating?
we need to move on.
That's my favorite part.
No. We're done here.
Question was
So is he trying to get a position on the Supreme Court?
I
am not a biologist.
That is the left. And it comes back to, again, if you're these Democrats, and I've told multiple Democrats this now that have, because look, I'll talk to anybody, right? So Democrats reach out all the time and say, "What do you think about this? What do you think about that?" And I tell them all the same thing. You guys are restrained. You are bound by lunatics who are the vocal part of your party. Look, I think there's a lot of Democrats that are sort of middle of the road people. I still don't agree with them politically, but I think they're far more reasonable and decent than the radical left. The problem is the radical left is the voice, is the face, is the base of your party. And most people, when they think of Democrats now, that guy is what they think of, who will not admit the most obvious thing in the world, which is there are biological differences between men and women. And how do you overcome that?
Yeah.
If you're a beau bi, I come back to this, that guy would probably be infinitely better than Diego Morales. Look, an aged orange peel would be infinitely better than Diego Morales. And most people who know who he is, based on polling that's come out, know what a rotten, horrible, disgusting person Diego Morales is. But then they see what they associate with Democrats being, and they go, well, I guess I'll just have to deal with rotten and disgusting and underhanded.
And it makes you wonder what he would say in the comfort of his own home,
right?
If he were asked the same question.
Does he believe this, or is
Correct.
he so bound to the lunatics? Yeah.
Right. Is that truly his conviction, or when he's just, at his own house, he is saying the same thing?
Let's take a break before we wrap up the show. You will not believe how much a Larry Bird jersey sold for, Casey. This is unbelievable.
Okay. It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
It's a new year. Ready for a fresh start or career reboot? At My Computer Career, prep for a more recession-resistant future in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, in months, not years, including AI. Whether you're starting out or switching careers, no prior training is needed. Attend school online from home or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu to take the free career evaluation today. mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Are you ready to build your custom dream home? Joiner Homes is ready to make your dream come true. Over 18 years, Joiner Homes, based out of Greenfield, have built hundreds of homes in central Indiana, and the best place to start is joinerhomes.com. That's where you'll find pricing, photos of completed Joiner homes to inspire you, available home sites, and info on where you can visit their model homes, and a lot more. Be sure to check out Joiner Homes' 5-star Google reviews. Get started today at joinerhomes.com.
At Advent, we help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine by getting your nose and throat working with our unique Advent approach that you won't find elsewhere.
Stay warm and cozy all winter long with a Howald Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing tune-up. Seasonal wear and tear can take its toll on your furnace. Schedule now. Howald Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing, where coming home never felt so good.
Hammer and Nigel here for Premier Weight Loss Indy, pwlindy.com, 2 different locations. And look, everybody is somewhere different in their health journey. People aren't the same, and treatments should not be the same. This is why I love Premier Weight Loss Indy. It's an in-person visit. You're going to get a consultation with a professional, and they will customize a plan specifically for you. Again, no plans are the same because people are not the same. So if you really want to take your health to the next level this year, start by going online to pwlindy.com. I lost a bunch of weight of my own, but then I hit a plateau and I couldn't lose anymore. I reached out for help. Premier Weight Loss Indy jumped in the mix, and now I'm down 16 additional pounds in 2 months. pwlindy.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. Take care of your health.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
The Attorney General's Office, reuniting Hoosiers with over $1 million in unclaimed property every week. Visit indianaunclaimed.gov or text Tony Katz to 46220 today.
Mark your calendar for January 24th at the Hyatt Regency for a night of insight and flair with Tony Katz. Trump 1 year later. VIP and GA tickets are available. WIBC.com for more info. Presented by Defiance Beef Company, Premier Arms and Chimney Solutions.
So you won't believe how much this Larry Bird jersey just went for.
Sold at auction for a lot of money, huh?
Yeah, it's the Kendall and Casey show. And Rob Casey's back. Go ahead.
This is one that he wore during the 1987 Eastern Conference playoffs.
Yeah, so the Celtics, obviously, many people around here became big Boston Celtics fans because of Larry Bird, Indiana State, and then played high school basketball in Indiana. And so many Hoosiers became huge Boston Celtics fans, especially if you were around in the 1980s. And the Celtics, of course, won 3 championships. This was not one of the years they won the championship. This was they lost in
the other year.
Yeah, they lost in the NBA Finals to the Los Angeles Lakers in 6 games. But this, as you said, was the game worn jersey by Larry Bird, which he wore in, at least what they call it, photo matching in the sports memorabilia industry. They photo matched this to at least 7 games that he, it could have been more, but they have identified at least 7 in April and May of 1987. And Casey, this item went for $524,600.
Fantastic. I want to know who bought it and if they would like some Sports Illustrateds, if they're into collectibles.
For those who don't know, Casey's husband makes his living buying, selling, pressing Sports Illustrateds. Now, what's interesting is Heritage Auctions did this piece of memorabilia, and it had elevated. It started out. Indy Star did a piece on this in December, early December, because this thing had wrapped up in late December. And it went from $175,000 then
to $500,000.
Yeah, to well over $500,000. Yeah. So,
and they're saying that it's more valuable, obviously, because it was a game-worn jersey. But it does show you that Larry Bird still has an enduring legacy and people are still willing to drop big bucks on his merch.
It was this interesting. So the guy, what's his name? Mr. Fabulous, Mr. Wonderful.
Kevin O'Leary.
Kevin O'Leary.
Mhm.
And I saw an interview that he did. He has gotten into sports cards. And of
Mhm.
course he's not buying he's not going to your local card store and buying,
Right.
tops packs. He's buying stuff that's selling for millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars. And he was talking about like why he's doing this. And he said basically, and I can't remember if artifacts was the word that he used, but he basically was saying hundreds of years from now,
Mhm.
people will look at sports memorabilia the way we find things that are like in the ground or from fields of battle or things. Or I think artifacts was maybe the word that he
Right.
used. But he was basically saying the sports memorabilia market
Mhm.
will someday become the way we view these other things that are getting found after hundreds of years.
Yeah, he said it's a good way to divest his portfolio. And I think he compared it to some people collect works of art like a Jackson Pollock, where he's collecting these, the baseball cards or
Yeah.
magazines. I keep telling my husband, Jim, he needs to start tagging some of these whales.
Yeah, yeah. Would you
Really?
like to come? Would
You
like to
find
be
this interesting? You know who else has really gotten into it lately is Ron DeSantis, governor of
Yes.
Florida. He's been posting a lot about it as well.
No, he was, of course, a great athlete. He played in the Little League World Series.
Mhm.
Ron DeSantis did.
Right, he did.
And what's fascinating is there's a show, and I told your husband because he needed things to do
Oh, boy.
while he was taking care of you.
Right.
Ken Golden is the guy's name. Golden Auctions is the company, and Netflix has I believe it's in its third season now, a behind the scenes documentary type show on Golden Auctions, and they sell all sorts of stuff. They sell everything from Al Capone's gun,
Mhm.
Pokemon stuff. Like they don't just do sports stuff. But what's fascinating is how many people are
Mhm.
now, and famous people are in the memorabilia game because
Correct.
they're the tippy top guys at Golden. They're always looking to, and of course it's a TV show, so they want them on the show, etc. But these famous people that they're looking to sell stuff to. And so I just think it's fascinating. So you were just about $500,000 short. That jersey could have been yours.
Darn it.
Hey, I'm so excited for tomorrow because I don't have to do the template anymore. You're back, baby. You're back.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for listening today. This has been the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
You're tired of your house being uncomfortably cold and paying those high electric and oil bills to keep the heat on is shockingly expensive this time of year. You'd love to have new windows, but you don't want to pay a fortune for them. Well, January is a great time of year to replace your windows thanks to Window Nation. Over the last 20 years, they've installed over 3 million energy-efficient windows and helped tens of thousands of homeowners keep their homes comfy and cozy year-round while also saving them money on monthly